I think somebody's here, so give me 1 second. I can't see my analytics at the moment. Why can't I see the chat? There it is. Hi. How you doing? Happy New Year. I was just kind of cleansing my crystal here, using some sage. Been about almost a month. How have you been? The white light surrounds me. I love in my heart. I ask the universe to bless Christ. Fuse it with positive energy from the intended. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Happy New Year. It's did you do anything fun? Pretty good actually. Struggled to start my work after a long holiday. Oh yeah, I completely agree. I went and saw. I have to continue looking over here. I'm not used to that. Um, I went and saw the Shenyun 2019 in San Francisco, and it is unbelievable. Like these people, when the way how they dance and everything, like it's just amazing. Um, yeah, I've never been to a Chinese ballet before, and this was definitely something really really interesting. I should move the chat over here. Pop this out, pop out chat, and then move it onto this side. Oh, that's much better. I shared this link with my friend as well. I think she's interested to have a reading with you too. Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll definitely be happy to do that. Uh, she is your friend here with you now? Because I'll definitely be happy to do a reading. And you know what? I'm gonna do a quick day card for you, real quick, to kind of give you like a little daily fortune kind of thing. You might see some smoke coming across here. That's my sage. The only thing I don't know how to do with this YouTube chat for some reason is uh, to see who the participants are, because it says there's like a couple people watching, but I only see you, and then there's myself. I guess both of us count as two, but yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm still getting used to this. So let's see what kind of card you have for today. And this is not really like a deep reading for you or anything. I just want to kind of pull a card to kind of, you know, give you something of the day. Oh, nice. How fun is that? Let's see here. Hmm. So today, and again, this is really not looking into anything specific. This is just kind of like, you know, just something for now. Pass a little bit of time and start our, you know, fun little night here. Um, looks like that you're going to be coming across a relationship here, and I kind of say that because we have the Two of Cups here. Um, you might feel that you probably feel a little stagnant today, perhaps. Not exactly sure what that would be about. Um, and by the way, can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure that you can hear me. And if you can't, I will turn up my microphone. Oh, hi. Um, thank you, New York Tory. I'll definitely get to you in just a second. I'm just doing a little quick reading with Purple Violet. Um, although Purple Violet, oh, perfect, great. So yeah, may feel a little stagnant today. Um, probably feel a little slow perhaps because of this right here. We have the Eight of Wands that are reversed. So nothing, I don't see anything like really bad. I mean, there is this one, that the Five of Pentacles. Again, usually it's about, you know, a sudden loss, but um, uh, to me, I guess my intuition is telling me that you're probably not really looking for help on anything, you know, and like this is not really saying a whole lot because right now I'm just doing a basic four for today. Um, but yeah, something with a relationship here. Let me see here. Let me ask the universe what that relationship card's about, real quick. Yeah, if you like, it's kind of weird because, you know, a lot of people usually, and this is just kind of like, you know, basic experience when it comes to New Year's. You know, people feel that, you know, they want to start the new year. Some of them don't know how. Some of them feel like that it's just another day, you know. And it's actually, and to be honest with you, it's actually quite alright if it's like that. I mean, obviously people, you know, they look into a new year, but this is just like a standard of how everybody sees time. And it's actually funny I'm talking about this because we look at time, for example, like a sleep regime. I'm actually looking into what's called a paraphasic um, sleep schedule, where you actually sleep less to actually get more done, and you can actually still feel energized. I've actually been doing this even before I started on my spiritual journey, because I moved very far away from my job, so I had to wake up like super early in the morning, like at 4 a.m. But I'll go to bed like maybe around 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So, but there was things I did to, you know, to kind of mentally prepare myself to, you know, kind of keep my energy of the day. But the moral of the story is that, um, you know, time is just time. It's not like everybody runs on. I mean, everybody does run on the same time as far as business is concerned. But as far as like meeting your own goals, time can be infinite. You know, yeah, we can do time management and stuff like that, but you know, uh, time management, it just really kind of, again, it depends on how much energy you put into it, what you want. And I guess it kind of goes with this right here, the chariot, and this the eight of wands here, because oh, I'm still on my side there, so here's a bigger look of it. um but yeah, so time, it really you know, when it comes to time, uh I try not to stress too much of it, because you know, these days is like, what exactly is time? You feel like you're running out of time, New York? Okay, well, let me finish this up real quick for you, for Purple, real quick. We'll get to a reading for you, and then Purple, if you have a question that you'd like to to get into, I'll definitely do a reading right after you, guaranteed. Right after New York, guaranteed. So, but let's continue on with this this daily one, and let maybe turn off the light on this, because it's kind of blinding the. There we go. That actually looks a little better. But yeah, I feel like it looks like that something's probably slowing down a little bit for you. Again, and I think I might have shown this one to you before, the Four of Pentacles. As a matter of fact, I could probably, me. I hope you don't mind. I'm actually going to take notes. You know, I kind of remember, you know, a little bit, because I talked to so many people. Cards. Let's see here. I'm going to put in my channel a new section for notes. January 4th. And we have Purple, Violet, Five of Pentacles. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do a timestamp here. Your timestamp is 13 minutes in. All right. So actually, I'm really interested to kind of look into this, something more fun for you here. This relationship card. So let's see what this is all about. Whoa, this big one came out. Ooh, another one fell out. Man, these cards are really coming at you here. And this is another way I kind of shuffle sometimes, doing this live thing, because I have clumsy fingers, which I think is good, because I think the universe utilizes my clumsiness to push out a card right away without me having to do the whole basic shuffle. I just do the basic shuffle sometimes because it's a little bit quicker, but this one usually takes a lot more time. And I noticed that in a lot of my past videos, I've been taking on all this time doing these really in-depth readings, which I love to do, but you know, I want to be able to give other people a chance. So it's like I have to kind of like maybe summarize the story a little bit more on each of these cards, or even just try to find a new way of a new method of doing this. But yeah, so in regards to the love card that we had here, or not really love card, but this like this new relationship, I feel that it's definitely a man. And I say this because we have the Emperor, and this is actually a major arcana card too, for that matter. So let's put a rose quartz on this real quick, just to make sure that we really channel that energy for this card for you. But this Emperor card, you know, I think like whoever is going to come into your relationship here will probably give you some real grounding, some relationship grounding. It could be a friendship, it could be a love relationship too. But you know, seeing that's number two, I kind of feel that this is maybe something a little bit more intimate than friends, and this will actually bring you some stability. Someone who's knows what he wants, someone who is um, very grounded, stable, and also someone who like a natural born leader in a way. Now, it seems that this person probably has come out of a bad relationship. I'm not probably not recently, because you know, he has some closure here, right? That's what this kind of card's about, like number 10 of swords. You know, like it's like a type of closure where you have like a, you know, a bittersweet. ending. You know, there's some light in the tunnel for him, and this light might be you, as a matter of fact. Um, um, I think um, for some reason, I feel like this card relates more to you than to him. For some reason, like I feel that you're probably going to um, try to take advantage of the moment to kind of capture this person's attention, um, and something tells me it's by accident the way how you probably capture this person's attention. It's not intentionally bad it's not on a bad intent, but I think that you're probably going to like you're going to probably do something that's kind of utilizing your time or taking advantage of this particular situation, and all of a sudden this person's going to be like around that when that happens, and it might like spark some type of conversation. um yeah, a man that I don't know why I feel so worried about today. You hit the bullseye about the end of a relationship. Oh wow. Yeah, so um yeah, I think you know, this whatever this is, I think it's going to be a pretty good relationship. I mean, it already started off strong as far as looking into this card. You know, you got the Emperor card. You know, this you're going to figure out some baggage with this person perhaps, but he's going to, you know, I feel like it's going to be a closed chapter, and then it's going to kind of blossom with you. But other than that, though, these other three here that had the Chariot, the Wands, and the Pentacles, so I think that this would be great way for you to, you know, it's kind of funny. I said that about, you know, taking on upon an opportunity, or like you're taking advantage of a situation, because look at this. I have here this Five of Pentacles. I'm talking about, you know, finding help and things like that, and it's probably at that point where you're taking advantage of someone's help to help you, hence this, and they're kind of like sitting, you know, these two right here. So you know, it's probably a sign, probably not, but I like to think that it is, because I just happen to know. I try to read in between the lines, you know, and my intuition said that these two are actually were actually related. You know, I think you're gonna probably take on an opportunity to kind of, you know, maybe start doing something. You know, I wouldn't say help, you know, but you will definitely be doing something that's going to be to your benefit. And then again, here is about doing something to your advantage, right? And with these two together, you know, the intent, I think, um, is going to be positive on that particular event. So, wow, I think it's kind of an interesting one. So I'm not sure exactly sure if this is going to be today, because it's saying that this is a day card, but let's take a look at some numerology here real quick. So pull up my calculator. Calculator. Let's see here. Yeah, so if you need friends to help get to know him, I think that's what this is right here. You're going to take advantage of something. Um, let's see here. My calculator just disappeared. There it is. Okay, so we have here first, we have the Chariot, which is 5, 6, 7, plus 2. That's, no, not times 2. 7 plus 2 is 8, or 9, excuse me, my math. Ugh. Plus 8 equals 17. Reduce that down, that turns into 8. So an 8 plus 5 is 13. Reduce that down, you got 4. Then you got the 4 right here, that makes it 8. Plus 10, which is 1. 10 plus 8 is 9. Did I say that correctly? Jeez. I'm sorry, I just lost my track. I should have not tried to do this. Let's see here. 5, 6, 7. I have 7 there. And then we have the 2 here, which is 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8, that's 17. Reduce that down, that turns into 8 plus 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. I reduce that down, that's 4, and then 4 plus 4 is 8. Then we have 10. 10 reduced is 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. Then you have the 5, 6, 7, and that's 7 plus 9, that's 16. Reduce that down, and that's the number 7. So your daily number is 7, which talks about, well, 7 is actually about the chariot, at least looking at the tarot. But if I was to look at my numerology notes here, I can give you a link. I'll actually copy the link. Let's see here. Copy. Let's see here. I'll just paste it into here for you for your reading enjoyment. But in general, it's talking about. Let's see here. Numerology is such a big thing to learn. So you could definitely. Ooh, signs. I love it. I love signs. If you're gaming 7 since yesterday, it's definitely probably telling you something. I think that like one of the keywords here, it says identification of these 7s, heavenly beauties gave way to a new army of correlations that marched through our everyday life even today. Let's see here. Other keywords here. Like some keywords here are talking about law, order, straight, like following a straight path here. It's funny because we're talking about paths here. Wisdom, balance, fortune, progress, structure. Like you'll see all that in the link that I just sent you. So, hi Vinny. Yeah, no problem. Just go ahead and fill out your name in the sheet here. I have New York Tori, who's next, and then I'm going to do Purple Violet, and then you, Vinny. So since I just said that, let's see here. I did say New York Tori, and then Purple Violet, and then Vinny G. All right. So let me go ahead and clean this up. All right. So Tori, welcome. If you're new with me, if you, I'm not sure if you've been to my readings before. I haven't done many of them, but there is a particular way of how I like to do these readings, and pretty much I just ask that you don't ask the question in the chat. I like to have the universe try to work for me, or at least I work for the universe. I like to work for you as well. I'm a hard worker. It's really just kind of a way for me to practice to help me communicate more with the universe. So I'm going to explain a situation for you to kind of help you find your zone in a way, like your Groovyouverse, which is kind of like my theme word that I've kind of come up with. It kind of resonates with me when I say Groovyouverse. But yeah, I want you to just close your eyes for a second, take a nice deep breath. Okay, and I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice and just picture yourself that you are at a lake. This lake is beautiful. It's like a nice little cool atmosphere. It's like maybe even like the early remnants of a morning, right? The sun's not out, but it's enough to kind of like, you know, shed a little light in the sky. You hear the birds chirping, just kind of, it's really making you feel safe, secure, tranquil. And this lake represents the universe, and it's just like a gigantic mirror. It's reflecting all the life around it, the trees, the mountains, everything. Now, I want you to look inside your hand, and in your hand is a rock. That rock is your question. It's the issue that you want clarity on, or it's just what is it, or the thing that you would like to get clarification on and help. So you're going to throw that rock into the water, and then where it lands in the water, you're going to notice the ripples. It's heavy, it's flowing outwards, and those ripples represents the energy waves coming to me. You're sending the question to the universe, and the universe is now transmitting that question of what it heard from you, and it's going to take that information to me. And then what I'm going to do right now while you're doing that, I'll figure out which cards I want to work with here. All right, the Raider deck it is. Raider White deck. All right. Okay, New York. Okay, you did it. Awesome. All right. And this happens to also be a special occasion for me too because this is actually the first time I'm actually using this gift that I got. I don't know if you noticed it sitting here on my desk. It's a Himalayan salt lamp. Someone gave it to me and it has some changing color LEDs inside. And I've been reading up on Himalayan salt lamps that it has like these properties and whatnot. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but one thing I can say for sure is that just looking at it in general, because the symbolism of it being like an earth object, and I have these lights in here to kind of enhance its beauty, it's evoking like a very positive emotion every time I look at it. And one thing that I'm kind of teaching myself here, and I feel like that this is probably true, like especially my spiritual journey, is that when it comes to your feelings, obviously we, look at things to probably help us get out of stress and makes us feel good, makes us laugh, or makes us sad, or like whatever. But um, if an object, and it can, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a crystal, like this, for example, where, um, you know, these things have its own healing properties. But if you have an object that you feel passionate for, that's you creating a connection with that object immediately, and that object gives you positive vibes just by looking at it and touching it. um, it's doing its job. This is you creating um, you know a relationship with that object. I mean, it could probably be as simple as maybe a chopstick. Maybe this chopstick probably has an influence to you, right? I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe because of the fact that it's food and food makes us happy, right? But I'm just, the moral of this is that um, you appreciate, try to take some time to appreciate this. And this is probably uh, something I'm probably going to do on my YouTube channel. You probably noticed I started posting some my own personal blog videos in there, and I'm going to share this knowledge. But um, if you create relationship with the product, with an object, something like that, listen to your intuition, listen to your feelings, because something's trying to tell you something here. All right, so let me get focused here. New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. Okay. So, something is telling me here, based on the card layout here, my intuition is telling me this is probably something regarding the type of relationship of some sort. Or maybe not relationship, but more about your feelings, I think, actually. I don't see anything here about relationships, but I do see something very heavy in terms of your emotions. Um, the reason why I say this, because first of all, we have the Ace of Cups. In general, the Ace in any deck, usually stands for one, which is like a starting point, right? But we have a divine being here presenting this cup here, um, with this, bird, kind of to me symbolizing like your knowledge and your faith and whatnot, which is kind of going into the cup. And the reason why I say that because it looks like it's holding the bread of Christ in a way, right? I mean, it depends if you're religious or not, but symbols are everywhere. And we have these 5 different streams overflowing out of this cup. So something here is definitely triggering an event for you. And I think that um, this event is probably something that you're probably feeling, I wouldn't say unbalanced, but maybe kind of out of ease. And I say that because we have the devil card here. So something coming into your life, it's making you feel overflowing with emotion. I can't say if it's positive or negative, but with this devil card, it doesn't really mean anything evil, but it definitely taps into something that you really, really desired the most. The story behind the devil card is that let me pull up let me get a little bit closer here. There we go. The story behind the devil card is that the you have the devil here who's doing the Vulcan symbol with his hands, and obviously he has like all these other symbols that kind of people relate to evil, which doesn't always remain evil. But the story is that we have these two like humanoid beings here who one represents fire, the passion, and the other one is fruitful, sort of like, again, with these two together, it's like your desires, like something bound to, like something overflowing with desire. It may not always be the right kind of desire, because it's sort of like saying um what's the terminology I can call it, like sort of like you are it's so good but so bad, right? Like almost like going to McDonald's, you're super hungry, you know it tastes super good, but you know it's bad for you, but you do it anyway. And the thing is, and if I say that because we notice that they have chains here, right? It doesn't mean that they're really locked down on this. They actually have the option to leave because the chains are very loosely wrapped around their necks, so they can easily remove this from them. Now, uh, we also have this here, which is the nine of wands, and what the nine of wands is about, it's sort of like a hesitation to proceed forward with a path or a passion and stuff like that, and there's no hesitation here. So this first line here kind of makes sense to me that you know there's a definite um, there's a definite spark of emotion here that happened with you maybe recently, and you feel so passionate about it, and you got that feeling like it's so good, but I can't stop doing it. That McDonald's metaphor, right? Now we also have here the Knight of Cups, which symbolizes again your taking on an action and confidence with this emotion that you have, because the Knight of Cups, we notice that he's on this steed here. The steed is about to start moving forward, and we say about because he's standing on one leg and there's two hooves standing upright, so he's about to take that step forward. And the step forward, he has to cross the path of or this lake in front of him, and we look at him as if he's presenting a cup respectfully to somebody. And to me, this is saying that with looking at this entire thing, it's funny because I feel like this is really coming strong here in terms of what I'm seeing here, and you're very, very more than welcome to tell me if I'm wrong about this, because I love learning about my mistakes, because I need to learn about what's being communicated here. But I think at least what I'm seeing here, I feel like that you want probably some clarity in terms of these feelings that you have. I'm not exactly sure if it's about a person or if it's about something in general, but I think that you have a very strong of emotion about something. You think that it's bad, but it feels so good, right? And um, I'm seeing here the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is about crying over spilled milk, and we have this person standing here, with a black cape. He's looking kind of like head down, and he's, you know, kind of like, you know, paying more attention to the fact that these cups are spilled, but he has two perfectly fine cups standing upright, filled, and he even has a bridge over here in the background. And we think about, or at least I think about this as bridge over troubled water in a way. There's also that other saying too about, oh, it's just water in the bridge about that issue. Don't worry about it. And that's kind of like what this is about. It's about crying over spilled milk. It can easily be cleaned up, and with this, I think it's in relation to this Queen of Swords here, where the Queen of Swords is about forgiveness. It's also about taking on compassion with your creativity, and even taking on a sort of like a gentle approach to things, right? So the Queen is very nurturing, and very forgiving, very emotional, and very empathetic as well. And there is another message about the Queen of Swords, but this is what kind of translated with me, and this is how the universe knows that how I communicate with these cards. That we have here her holding on a sword, and the sword usually indicates creativity, the way how we talk to people, the way how we view our issues in our life as well. It's also a symbol of air as well, and when we say air, air is like our thoughts. And I think with these two right here, you're crying over spilled milk, and you're taking it very passionately as well. I feel that whatever this is, I think your question is like whatever is happening to you, and I'm going to draw a few more cards here to see what this issue is about, what is the issue. But I think what your question is, at least this is what I'm feeling, is that you just want to kind of have some clarity in terms of the emotion that you are feeling right now. It's super heavy. You want that McDonald's. It's super greasy, but you know it's super good because we all love those chicken nuggets, right? Such a bad metaphor. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's draw some cards here. So let's see here. Ooh, this one just popped right out. Ooh, very good card. Rahaden. Welcome, Rahaden. Yeah, I actually got into this new diet with my partner. It's called, I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Sebi, Sebi. Very aggressive diet. It's almost like turning vegan in a way, but there's a list of produce and things like that you're not allowed to have, and it's known as the high alkaline diet. It's supposed to help you rejuvenate your body. Like, he was devoting his life to nutrition, and he was finding ways on how he can better his body, and he's been working with a lot of celebrities and stuff like that. And there was like this case that there's like this rumor that he has cured AIDS with this particular diet. So yeah, doesn't go well with McDonald's, but I can tell you for sure, like, being on this new diet, I passed by a McDonald's, and this devil card reveals his ugly head, and it's tempting me to want to go there, and I have to fight my urges. All right, no other cards are popping out, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the other two out here. Okay, so I'm actually seeing something pretty good here, and actually have a really good feeling about this, as a matter of fact. And the reason why I say this, because first of all, we have the Three of Wands. This one right here, let me go ahead and pull up a picture so you can have a really good idea of it. I'm leaning over because I have two screens here. All items, I want my wands, and here is my wand. So this right here is a picture of a man who is standing in front of two wands that are firmly placed into the ground, standing upright, and he's holding on to one of them. And you notice that out in front of him, it's all gold, right? To me, and you kind of want to ask yourself, like, what does gold kind of communicate to you with? Like, what kind of symbolism does it give you? And to me, it kind of shows like a warmth, very inviting. It also shows like, high value as well, because society sees gold with a very, very high price. And not only that, if we look at it as a tool with gold, because wands kind of represents tools. Uh, Gold is one of the best conductors out there for electricity, and and I think the other one is also copper as well. But gold-plated wires, they actually have really great conductivity. And if that's my knowledge served me correctly, if I'm wrong, and I do apologize, but gold definitely has a high value, right? Now, we also see in front of him this huge ocean of boats. So, like, this entire thing, what does it say to you? It says to me that you're embarking on a new journey here. Whatever this emotion that you are feeling hard for, I think this whatever this emotion is, um, it's something. And the reason why you feel so bad because it's a new step that you've taken, and you're not sure what you're doing. And I think this is a good thing because we have the Death card and the Eight of Cups reversed. Don't stop. Whatever this is that you're taking on this adventure. Um, and this venture could be a relationship with somebody, or maybe just kind of getting started into something new, maybe a career perhaps, or um, just something that you've kind of devoted time to. Usually the death card means like something's coming to an end with a type of new beginning, but whatever it is, don't stop it. um, you also have the Eight of Pentacles, which is usually about like kind of walking away from your troubles in a way. And how this would probably relate to here is that you probably are not going to, I mean, uh, well, this is talking about walking away from your troubles, but for some reason, I feel like that with this reverse and seeing these two here, I feel like that this is actually a positive walk away. Like you are ready to kind of walk away from these issues in your life. Um, that it is like you feel that it's time, and that's kind of what this one's about here. um, and you probably have discovered something to kind of help you in this journey right here. It could be somebody or something, but that's what this card here is about. The Eight of Cups. It's about kind of like just walking away from, because we see the cups here kind of like lined up. um, Let me see here. Cups. There we go. So we see these cups lined up here, and um, um, like for example, the story is that we see these cups lined up at the bottom. We have 5 and 3 in the top, but there's no symmetry with these cups here. Like, it's as if like he's trying to stack them up. It didn't stack up correctly the way he wanted it to. So he just kind of gave up on it, right? And that's kind of what the story is about with that cups card. But with the reverse, usually, it can definitely mean the reverse here. But my intuition is telling me that with it being reversed, that you are walking away from your problems, but it's going to be like a type of closure. Unlike with the swords, the Ten of Swords, which usually kind of means about, or not even just Ten of Swords, there's two swords cups here that usually resembles like leaving your baggage behind when moving forward. Like for example, this one right here. This is the Six of Swords, where somebody's kind of like moving on to new destinations, but they're bringing on the baggage with them. And the other one here is the Ten of Swords, where it's like a bittersweet. You dealt with the pain, but even though that pain has come to an end, there is light at the end of the tunnel. But in this situation here, I feel like that you are about to walk away from something, um, and it's kind of like a good change in a way. And whatever it is, don't stop. This is what my intuition is kind of telling me here. I'm just get maybe a couple more cards here. I don't think I should probably come up with more cards because it might give me some gibberish. And I'm gonna keep this more in focus. But let's see what I'm just gonna throw out three answer cards, which I'm gonna make them upright, and we'll see if that kind of correlates with this. And if it does come out as gibberish, I think that this right here already speaks for itself. Okay, so looks like we have more wands here, which indicates path. You have here this wands of two, the Two of Wands here, which is about something similar to the Three of Wands, where the person's holding the world like his oyster, and he's the portal's there ready for him to move forward, but he's not really ready to move forward. And this is probably I'm curious, because these doesn't look like really like answer cards. This looks like more like your current situation. Um, and I feel like that this one is like an answer card, which is kind of weird because usually the answer card I like to pull at the very end. Um, this right here is like you want to move forward but you can't, right? He's standing on top of the building, but he's not really ready to move forward, even though he sees everything ahead of him. Um, then we have the Emperor here, which is like stability and stuff like that. So maybe this can mean two things. Um, and I'm looking more at the symbol than I am with the story here, and you're more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like that you're stable with somebody, to where that's why you feel like you can't really move forward. You can't move forward because of a person. I think that's what that's like a first initial thought about this. Because the other thought I had is that you're so stable about where you are right now. You're very comfortable that you really don't want to move forward. But I think it has something to do with a person, perhaps, that you don't want to move forward because of this person, and this person might have some real deep passion for you, perhaps, and that's probably why you can't let go. Um, you're more than welcome to correct me on that because I feel like that. Um, I, I, I want to be very, very careful here in terms of what these cards coming up because I don't want this to affect what I'm seeing here to where we're going to go into a whole different direction. Let's see what you said in the chat here. In the beginning yes, I'm beginning to manifest and use law of attraction. I'm also engaged and I've been job hunting since July 2018 and I'm having trouble finding the job, and that's the emotion you spoke about. That's where the emotion came from. Gotcha. So now that you said that, um, this kind of makes a little bit more sense now about these three right here. I feel like that this right here, this the answer card, and this is like your current situation. Again, you are having problems proceeding forward because you feel stable where you are, um, though you really are taking actually a chance on this path, and that's what the Knight of Wands is about. You're proceeding forward, that you are leaping forward to start pursuing whatever this path and this passion is. Um, but you probably feel comfortable, not comfortable, but you're just because the fact that sometimes change is very, uh, you know, can be overwhelming, and with that fear we tend to stay where we know, like we're more familiar with and we're stable with. So I think that's what this Emperor about. I think this is more like kind of communicating what you're going through right now, and then you have these three right here, which is talking about taking on a new path. Don't stop that path. So we can probably throw these three other cards away that I just pulled out, because I honestly don't think that's really your answer card. This is talking about past stuff there. I really believe this is actually your passion, or like your answer card here. So whenever this path is about to embark, I'm not exactly sure what the time frame is on that, but I know you're going to feel it, and don't stop. And don't stop, especially this is kind of like some personal opinion, one person to another, with my many years of job experience. Uh, Always pursue yourself and aim high. And one thing I've done for myself to kind of help me get to the job I'm at right now, which I'm very fortunate for, is that um, even if the job that you're applying for you may be underqualified, apply anyway. Because um, let's say, for example, you sign up for some sort of tech company and they're asking for a bachelor's degree, but you only have an associate's degree, like me, as a matter of fact. And this is actually a true story. I only had a bachelor's, or no, an associate's degree with a college that actually went out of business, Hilt College, and I wanted to get a bachelor's degree, but everything was kind of too broad for me, and I wanted something more specific. And I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Well, I found one company. It was a startup company to where they were looking for a bachelor's degree, but I had years of experience to back up my, my position. But they really wanted a bachelor's degree. It said bachelor's degree required, but I applied anyway, and I now have the job, which has now actually been bought out by one of the largest tech companies in the world. I'm not going to reveal too much about that just for my own privacy, but uh, because I've applied and they looked more for character than they did for skill. Because always remember this: companies will hire you more for your character than your skill. You can teach a person's skill, but you can never teach a person on how to be a person, because that character is built with you. That character follows you, and um, you are you, right? So, for example, some a-hole gets hired, and they hired him, and he happens to know all these skills. He meets all the technical things, but on a personal level, he's not connecting with everybody, so that doesn't really make a good match. Companies prefer nowadays, especially nowadays, they want to make a connection first with their coworkers to make a happy environment, because the skill can come around. The skill can be taught, and if you have the passion for it, you can definitely get that skill. So I honestly think that this is the best reading so far. If I was to come up with any more cards right now, it's just going to taint what this is about, and it'll just give me some gibberish at this point. So I really hope that this was helpful to you. And this one actually is funny because this one came really quick. Usually I would have to have more cards to be drawn out, but this one came super fast. Um, they want a bilingual. They want bilingual people in my field, and I'm not bilingual. This gem is so timely. Yeah. So, bilingual is definitely something that you might want to have a good background. So, with my background, I have a huge technical um, knowledge. Like, I'm really great with computers and things like that, and some programming with HTML, web design, things like that. But the job that I went to um, touched on some things that I didn't really work with, but I was able to use my background of technology to help me get this job. So if you're really good at with a different language, go ahead and go for it. If they decline you, that's where you actually come around and you say, okay, thank you for your decline letter. I'm gonna have to decline your decline letter. No, I'm just kidding. No, but what you want to ask that employer is, why did you decline it? What are the qualifications are you looking for that seem to be lacking from my resume? And you may never know. With you coming back like that to them, they might feel the need to actually hire you because you're actually really wanting the job. Um, so I hope that advice is really helpful to you. All right, let's see here. There's a person here named Happily Ever After. Is that really true? I can't tell. It's not letting me update, but that's really interesting. Um, don't tell me that I just got declined today. I'm going to write them a letter. Well, just um, here's one thing I actually say to in some of my other readings is that we always want the positive light, right? We always look for the positive light, but um, comes light is always darkness. But within darkness, we can see the stars. So you can use the darkness to your advantage, and um, uh, you know, darkness doesn't always have to be evil, or for that matter as well. I mean, there's always a flip side of good and bad, but just taking that into heart that even with you want to be in light and stuff like that, you want things to be going the right way. You need some of that darkness in order to help you proceed forward, because within failure you create strength. So, all right, that was an excellent reading. So, New York Tori, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see I hope you stick around with me and even subscribe as well, because I definitely had a fun time with this one. All right, so the next one we have here is Purple Violet. Little Miss Purple, are you still there with me? You're very welcome, New York. It is my pleasure. Yay. Okay. So, all right, Purple, you know the drill on this one, right? So, let's take a deep breath. All right. Let's double check my time here. I think we're okay on time. All right. So, again, we are at the lake. The lake is super smooth, it's calm, and it's going to be a beautiful day. You can feel it in your bones. Whatever issues that you're dealing with right now, it's the clean air, that nice crisp cool air is just melting it away. Like, for some reason I feel like that you really love that smell after the rain, where it just cleans the air, and it's like that's that smell that you want that smell to help clean you, to cleanse you. You're going to feel safe. So that's when you would take that deep breath and you feel that air just filling your lungs, and you're just feeling that joy. Now go ahead and get that rock into your hand. Whisper into that rock, what is it that you want to know? And you're going to throw that rock into the water and watch those ripples get created with that rock. And that's the universe sending out that energy to me. Okay, angel deck it is. And New York and everybody else here too. I did have a survey in the description, but for some reason I'm having a problem with the survey. And what that is really actually is to kind of help me better myself, as I do these readings. At this point, I'm just going to say, just leave your comments, or post your comments in this video. I like to read them. I like to see your feedback. If it was good or bad, I'm not going to filter any of that, because, like I said, I need to have that darkness to help me become stronger, right? It's not really darkness, but I see it as creative feedback. Even if people say like, "Oh, you're a fraud or a phony or whatever," like whatever they believe in, like, I accept all communication, and any feedback that you have to give to me. If I'm off, like maybe like a 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, how off was I? Something like that. So, all right. So, purple, 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 purple. For some reason, the movie Color Purple is popping in my head, and they had that musical. It was such an awesome musical. Got my house, it still keeps the cold out. Got my chair where my body can hold out. Got my eyes, though they don't see as far now. That's a good song. Wow, we got some cards coming out here for you, Purple. Let's see here. Okay. The title of that song is I Am Here. It's part of the Color Purple Broadway musical, and it's such an amazing song. It's very, very uplifting for what it is. I definitely recommend you YouTube it. As a matter of fact, there's one version of it that I loved so much. I'll share to you with you right now. So, I Am Here, Color Purple. This one's the best version I've heard. There it is. Copy link address. There it is. The way how she sings this is phenomenal. This woman is like pure voice. Okay, so let's see here. See here. That's what I thought it was. Okay, so I have this reading here for you, and something told me to pull out another card, this seventh card here, as your subject for some reason. First of all, I feel something pretty positive about this for some reason. Now, looking at this card here, this renewal card, and I'll show you a picture of this because the thing about this card, I mean, I do closely relate to it via the Raider weight deck. Let's see here. I need Angel. Major Arcana, and this is the renewal. Now, the thing about these cards, you know, like I try not to pay too much attention to the descriptions that it provides, but where the heck is that card at? No, that's not the one. Okay, well I can't seem to find it, but so the renewal is actually closely related to, actually, you know what I will do? I'll show you the other card for it. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth here. Ugh. But let's see here. Nope, that's not the one. Here it is. So what this deck is about, or at least this card here is about, so the Judgment card, this is the story behind this, is that we see these people, you know, we have an angel tooting its horn, and the angel is like sort of like the liaison of God, right? He, you know, the messenger, but he's calling upon the dead, right, to wake up. And we have the dead here, where they have their arms kind of like, you know, accepting whatever this angel is coming them for. They want to be taken to heaven. So that's kind of what the Judgment card is about. It's about you know, kind of setting forth you know, like having a type of renewal. Again, like that's what this card is about here, right? Like you're moving on to maybe a new life. Now with this card, what it means to you, and looking at these other ones here, because we had a Six of Water, which is about you know, having like a childlike mentality, or even that memories for that matter, which is this. This one right here. It's like having like maybe either a friendship, or that you are clinging on to some memories about your childhood. But whatever this is, I think this is actually kind of really talking about memories here. That what you're thinking about is evoking a very positive and playful memory for you. The Emperor, which is like stability, that father figure in the major arcana, and then we have the Ace of Fire. Ace of Fire is usually like a new journey that's being presented to you, that you're about to take a part of a new journey, that you will want to you know, set your path on your desire, or your passion at least, where you have a lot of work to go for. But now, give me 1 second here, because this one's kind of a little bit scattered because this extra card came out. I think that what the theme of this is here, or at least let me continue on with the stories here, because we also have the Eight of Earth, which is also the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is about like training or doing something repetitive where it's trained you to be efficient with your work, and you're kind of going through the things to to push through whatever this earthly possession is, either education or things like that. But you're learning how to kind of punch through the work in order to succeed, and that's the sort of like education. It's probably something not new. I think that's kind of what this is about to tell me here. Like whatever we're about to figure out here, um, this is not a new occurrence. Maybe this has happened to you before, but and I kind of looks back at here the six of water, which I find it funny that these two right here are actually um, uh, on top of each other, because I like to see this maybe that the water is being added to the earth, like how you pour water into a cup, or not into a cup, but a plant, right? To give it some water, and whatever these feelings are, it keeps it keeps bringing up the fact that you already know, that you've already dealt with this issue, or not really an issue, but you're whatever the situation is, you've dealt with it already. Like there's nothing new for you to learn from it, but the idea keeps coming back, right? Um, we also have the Eight of Fire, which is also the Eight of Wands. That's usually like something moving super fast. Um, but again, I feel like that because this is not new. There's really nothing fast about it on this particular journey, because like you've already either thought about it or you've already experienced it. And we have here the Five of Fire, which is also known as the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is kind of like a conflict, a little bit scattered. If I'm not mistaken, if that's what it is. Let me double check that here. Five, yeah, here it is. Yeah, so like if we look at this, it looks kind of chaotic, right? Um, it looks kind of chaotic where um, I think to me this is like you probably want to make sense as to why this keeps coming up. So I feel like that this is maybe something has to do with your question. Um, like something keeps coming up into your head. You want clarification on it, and you definitely want to move forward. Hence this renewal card. Like you want to be able to move forward with it, but you probably wanted to know about this idea that you have, because it's definitely a stable idea. It's definitely made you feel good with the Six of Water. It's not old to you though, and it's nothing new. There's nothing new about this particular idea because you've dealt with this idea already, and you're kind of in conflict with it because you can't seem to get over it, I think. And I let me know if I'm uh, if I'm off here, because I really feel like that it's almost like a repetitiveness in a way, with what you're thinking here. So let's put some more cards here. Yeah. We got the four here again, which is funny because you had the Emperor card, which I believe it's like it's like a stable, like I told you, it's like a stable idea, but you also have the Four of Earth here, which is about being too not really stingy, but you're really clinging on to this idea, because it keeps coming back to you and you keep clinging on to it, and not really doing too much with it, right? And usually the story behind the Four of Earth is that you're so stable that you don't want to spend that money, like whatever money that you've gained, you put it away, but you just kind of sit on that money, you don't do anything, so it just kind of goes to waste, right? um, I think with this Four of Earth is sort of like saying that you're sitting on whatever this idea is. Like you sat on this for a long time. You haven't really dealt with anything on that. And then you have the Page of Water here, which the page is about, again, learning, creativiness. Because the page in medieval times, like it's a kid who was born in a royal family or in a rich family, and he um, has to learn how to become a squire and then a knight, and pretty much learning how to find ways to serve as king. Well, um, again, this I feel like this is whatever this idea is. It's again not nothing new to you, um, and it's not really bringing anything to the table with this idea because you keep holding on to it, but I'm not seeing any action here. Um, I'm not seeing any action taken on this particular idea, but you love thinking about it. It's totally it's totally making you feel warm and everything. So um, a project that I dealt before and thinking of making it as a new job. So I happen to be so I am right on this question that you're asking that whatever this idea is, you want clarity on to maybe proceed forward with it. And I think that this is something you're very passionate about because we have the sun here, you have the emperor, right? And um, I feel like that you can easily start this. Like you already know what's involved with it. You've probably done your research on this, because I mentioned earlier, you have here the Eight of Earth, right? It's reversed. I don't know why I held that up. You have two videos here. You have the Eight of Earth and you have the Ace of Fire, both reversed here. So that's telling me that again, it's not really much of a new path. It's not really much of anything for you to learn from. You've learned as much as you can from this, and again, we have here the Page of Water, you know, Page of Water being like, bringing on something new or learning on what to do with this newfound knowledge and this newfound emotion. But there's really nothing for you to learn, but you're really super stoked about it. Like you're super happy about it. You have the Sun and you have the Six of Water here. It's making you feel very vibrant about it. And I think this actually pretty well sums it up right underneath that renewal card here. Like you want to know on how you can proceed forward with this, right? Just like as we saw with the Major Arcana card that I just put here, I'll put it up again. Arcana and the Judgment card. Like you want to know what should you do? How can how can you make that decision, hence the judgment, like what kind of judgment can you make to help you proceed forward with this, right? Because I think with this Emperor card, um, you're stable where you're at, you know you're stable where you're at, and you probably don't want to move forward. um, it's like an escape from me after feeling bored from my 9 to 5 job. Oh man, don't we all have escapes? So let's come up with some answer cards here. Oh, yes, yes, and yes. Wow, this one's coming on pretty quick. The universe is really communicating with me today. I feel it. So this is what I'm seeing here. We have the Ace of Earth. This is definitely a new opportunity. Whatever this idea that you're going through right now, it's definitely a new opportunity. Um, but there needs to be a balance here, and I say that because you have the Two of Earth. The Two of Earth is about this person who's juggling like two pentacles in his hand, but they're bound by the infinity symbol, and usually it kind of means that you are, um, no, with all the stuff that's kind of going on with you. Let's see here if I can find it. Pentacles. There it goes. So it's like a duality, right? Balance. So we think of number two, and you have to kind of think of what comes to mind number two, and I think of like a seesaw, right? Even though a seesaw has a point in the middle, but it's going either side, right? So um, with this Two of Pentacles, you see in the picture that there's a lot of crap going on in the background, right? And you kind of think about it as like, if I got all this crap going on, then how can I really stay focused? But this person is able to manage whatever the pentacles means to you. It could be the job, it could be the money, just again earthly possessions, right? He's able to balance this out, and that's what you're going to need to do too. If you take upon this new opportunity, right, this Ace of Earth, right, be prepared to have to do some balancing. But I believe that your path is clear. There's going to be some work involved with the Chariot because you have the two horses pulling the chariot. You're going to go super fast. There will be some conflicts, but you're going to have to get smart with that. And I think that's what this is all about. Um, and I think your path is set here. Just be smart with how you handle your life as you bring on this new opportunity. And I think and this opportunity is based on what you're seeing here with like the six of water, this idea that you have. So um, yeah, hobby job and staple job, absolutely. I mean, because um, think of it as, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what your current life is like if you have kids or not, but it's almost like single mother, having to work two jobs, but making sure that the kid, which happens to be in your case the hobby, gets the nourishment and the education that little boy needs or the little kid needs. So um, definitely take on this project. See where it goes. I'm not saying that you need to go full head on it because even though you've done your research on it, it's always still good to continue doing your research on this. And um, when I wouldn't say like when you feel safe about it, try to start something with it. Um, maybe get a small project, like a mini project to go along with it to where you can practice it, and then see how you can build it up. Because I believe that once you take on this opportunity and you start to find a way to balance this, um, your path is gonna move forward. It's definitely going to move forward again, but keeping in mind that there's work involved. The chariot has conflicts, right? So, um, yeah, I think it's clear. Try it out. You know, start out small if you want to, in a comfort zone if you want to, but um, it'll grow. It'll definitely grow. We're in this day and age, where 9 to 5 job is. I mean, come on. We have people here on YouTube who play video games and they get paid just to talk crap and play video games all day long. That PewDiePie guy, he gets like what 3 million a year just so the fact that he plays video games and does all these controversial things. And there's all these other people on the internet, that does these little hobbies, but they managed to turn what they love into something that you know that gave them money. Now, yeah, it doesn't always work for everybody, but that's because some people are always looking for the riches way too quickly. For example, there's a my partner has a family member's husband, um, who uh, it was actually not a family member, it's actually more like a friend of ours who actually took on an opportunity, right? And the opportunity is almost like a pyramid away. Like it kind of gave him um, something to look into. Like and I think it was like putting ads onto an internet and something like that. And he doesn't have any computer background and stuff like that, but he's going through training, and he was promised a salary of like what was it, 30,000 a month, and it looks all good on paper, but uh, this is like a path where you're taking on something to get fast money, and that's not the way to go. It takes time, it takes skill. Um, I'm, you know, let's say my age. I'm turning 39 here actually in a couple weeks, and the thing is, I didn't get to where my job is today super quick. I mean, things did kind of happen fast, but it's fast within a reasonable amount of years, right? But before that, I had to train. I had to go through unemployment and stuff like that. For that matter, I actually suffered where I had no job, and then I actually managed to land a nice stable job where I'm super happy and doing what I love to do. So I keep not looking at the chat here. Taking care of my family, the mom and dad for them. Yeah. So, um, you know, it will feel a little draining. And like I mentioned, time is just time, right? If you find a sleep regime that works for you, because maybe you don't need all that sleep. Like for me, example, 4.5, maybe 5 hours sleep tops is really all I need. With maybe like a half hour to an hour nap sometime during the day. That increases my day to less, just right underneath 24 hours, right? Like maybe 20 hours. That's 20 hours I get to do all the stuff that I wanted without having to be hampered down too much thinking that, oh, I don't have enough time because I have my job and things like that. Like, you know, so manage your time, manage your resources, and I think this will be a very rewarding experience for you. Um, you know, maybe you go into the Shark Tank and you remember me. It's like, yeah, so like Groovified, Anthony told me to do this, and now I'm here in the Shark Tank, and then you're gonna have like one of those people like, "Hi, I'm Barbara from Shark Tank, and here's my offer." There you go. 4 hours of sleep, healthy eating. Okay, so let's see here. Um, Purple Violet, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. So we have, yeah, you're very welcome, and I hope it really resonated with you, and I hope it actually made sense, and I hope I was, on the right track here too. Um, Start neutralizing this while I get some of this other stuff done here. All right. Let's see here. Next, I have. Okay, so. There we go. Vinny G. Vinny G, are you still with me? And yeah, that song is a freaking amazing. I love that song. Like that woman has like vocals like beyond I can't even comprehend. I mean, I love to sing as a hobby. Like I'm a karaoke junkie, but I have a huge like respect for people who sing like that, and especially in Broadway, if you have to sing like that like every week, that same song over and over, just like Adina Menzel, I think that's her name, who did Elphaba in Wicked. Like she had to do that Defying Gravity every single night and belting out those notes. Holy freaking cow! Okay, so um, let's see here. Vinny G, Vinny G going once. Now that we've met one another, it's clear that we deserve each other. You're perfect, so we're perfect together. Okay, so we're gonna put Vinny G on a temporary hold here. We'll just kind of move him down here towards the bottom. Katura. Oh, is that you? Okay, perfect. So, I'm sure you've heard how how I work here in terms of the questioning. I want you to kind of focus on this question here. I'm just gonna take a quick little 10-minute, 15-minute break. I have to kind of check some things in my laundry here, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right. So I'm just gonna put this on um, a very very brief little uh, break here, and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm gonna clear out this incense here. Sandalwood is supposed to be good for increasing psychic energy, though I don't really define myself as psychic, but I do find myself as a communicator and someone who wants to listen to the universe and the energy around me. I feel like that my energy, or is my gift, my talent, is about my talent is about like just reading into character, things like that. Fortune telling, at least reading futures and stuff. Like that's just something that I can't see. Maybe not just yet, because I'm really honing into my ability here. Dear universe, please cleanse these cards, energize them with your spiritual energy. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a really good point. You said that New York. I I did a lot of research when it came to learning these tarot cards because I really wanted to kind of know more than just what the description of the picture says. Like for example, this was actually my first deck, right? The angel cards. But you'll notice, God, can't see it here, but one thing you'll notice is that this one has a lot of descriptions on it. Angel. Here we go. So here's an example. Like this one right here has a description on the bottom, and of course, it came with a booklet that kind of says like, oh, we'll explain how these cards work, and they have you go through the typical traditional like Celtic cross and things like that. But what I've learned, and this is kind of something I've kind of learned on my own a little bit, is that if I just pull out one card and it says this, right? It's almost like saying, well, the red ball bounced. And then it's like, okay, well, how many times did it bounce? Which direction did it go? How high did it bounce? Like you can't just get that from one, description. You need to build a story. And that's why I do the three, because three symbolizes creativity, hence the Empress. I like to nurture the experience, right? And that's kind of why I always stuck with three. Sometimes I'll probably do four in terms of stability, but really it's just I kind of do like 3 3 3 and then continue on with threes. Like um, some people do four, some people have their own methods of doing it, and some people I've seen always just do the past, present, future. Which I'm not really big on saying past, present, future these cards because again, like if I did do past, present, future, that's just one card for the present, one card for the future, and it doesn't really go with me. So, all right. So we have here Katura, which was Ray Hayden. Ray Hayden. So I hope you don't mind me calling you Ray for now, Katura. So, or unless Katura is your real name, whichever you prefer, you're more than welcome to let me know how you like to be called. So I'll just call you Ray for now based on your screen name. So I just want you to visualize yourself because you've been focusing on that question. Visualize yourself on a beautiful, at least in this one, I like to say, visualize yourself on a beautiful spring morning, and you are standing at the foot of a lake. The lake is super clear. It's like a gigantic mirror, and that lake is the galaxy. It's the universe that you were going to communicate with, and you're going to look at your hand, and there's a pebble in your hand, like a small little rock. Whisper the question that you'd like to get answers to into the rock and throw that rock into the water, and it's going to create a splash. But what we're looking for are the ripples that it creates, and those ripples is the energy the universe sending over to me. Katura. I don't know if you roll your R's in the name, but I kind of like to sometimes. Katura. Okay. All right, Ray. Got a pretty big wave on the Rate of Weight deck here, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. All right. Add a little chaos to these cards here by shuffling them, because within chaos comes order. That's what I like to say sometimes. Chuck that rock. You know, it's funny because I think it was with Purple, or I can't remember. There were some other subscribers when I first started this, and I was even saying like I felt like I could plunk, like somebody threw a gigantic rock, and they actually said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I did." Okay, there we go. Ray. Let your energy talk to me. Universe, please help me understand this question. Put my trust in you. Put my trust to the deck that this deck will be honest with its answers. Okay, so here's what's going on here. I like to kind of explain a little bit the story behind these cards, but we're going to take a look further in terms of what this is communicating. So the Page of Wands, the Page in general is sort of like, you already heard me talk about this. The Page is like a boy who's been born into like a royal family or a rich family, and the Page is on a quest to learn how to serve his king, and therefore he becomes an honor to become someone's squire, and then becomes a knight. Well, the Page of Wands, you know, is also about creativity as well and learning your journey, and that's what kind of the Wands is about. It's about taking upon a journey, taking on a journey. Because we think about the wands as like a stick that you use like as a walking stick. It also represents fire, which can also be like your passion and things like that. Now we'll get to the reason why they're reversed in just a second. The Hierophant is almost like, think of it as a pope in a way. He is a leader, but he's a leader of an organization, right? Now this card to me usually represents a type of organization within yourself, also holding on to like your values, on your beliefs, stuff like that. You having your own beliefs and things. And then we have here the Four Cups, and a small word for that is like boredom. You're bored with the things that are being given to you in terms of like, you know, the thoughts that you're receiving, the desires, and even like the emotions that you've been receiving. You're kind of bored with this incoming knowledge that's coming to you. Now, we also have here the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is about well, in general, the queen is like a nurturing person. She's very empathetic. She's very emotional, and very trustworthy, as well as forgiving, for that matter. But the Queen of Pentacles is kind of like about nurturing that earthly possession, and that's what the Pentacles is. What is that earthly possession? It could be education, like your knowledge, like you're learning something, something obtainable, right? And earthbound as well, because the Pentacles is based on the earth. So she's nurturing on to this right here, and she's also in tune with the world around her. She has like the life around her. She has like a little rabbit here that's kind of like, kind of maybe telepathically speaking with nature. And she also has in the background blue mountains and the blue lakes. So, and blue kind of represents our emotions as well. You have the Five of Cups, which is about like in general spilled milk or crying over spilled milk. With it being reversed, it's not much about continuing to cry on a spilled milk, but it's you kind of maybe deal with certain things, but then just kind of let you're actually easy to let it go, but you still remember it. Like it's almost like, I can forgive, but I can't forget, kind of thing, right? So, and then you have the Queen of Wands, which is kind of interesting because we have here the Page of Wands talking about, with this reverse, and we also have the Queen of Wands. We know what the Queen is about, and we also know what the Wands is about, and this is about, having, taking on a role of your creativity, and just kind of taking command of what your desire is, or at least what your passion is. And I keep saying passion, desire. They're both different things. Desires is with the cups, and passion is actually more like fire, because fire is like the fuels of passion, right? The passion that's inside us, that that fire that burns within. Now, one thing I'm noticing here, we have this Four Cups hanging over this Queen of Wands. I feel like that. I feel like that you have some things going your way, right? Like you do have something that you possess, that you do definitely care for, but you're really bored with it, um, because regardless of what you believe in, and regardless of how creative you are on this path, I feel like that, this is saying to me that you are, um, not looking for a way out, but you're probably trying to maybe turn a situation around. Um, because the song's kind of coming to my head, turning the beat around for some reason, and I'm saying that because you want to find out how you can turn these cards around. Maybe not this one, but you want to kind of turn around these other ones here. You kind of like want to kind of make things right side up, because you probably feel stagnant with where you're at, with what you believe in, and maybe you feel like you maybe lack that creativity because you already have this earthly possession, this whatever, this opportunity or job, money, whatever it is. Like you have it, you're taking care of it, but you kind of want more. It's funny that kind of slipped out because I was actually going to say something else, but I think you're probably looking for more, um, with this question that you're asking. And yeah, very interesting here. Um, you are looking for a path forward, but the path is not in front of you. This three of wands is about taking, continuing on a path forward onto something, that you want, but I think you kind of don't know what you want. Um, you've been holding on to, like you're stable. That's what this four is about. Like four in general is about stability, but comes too much stability is where you just kind of sit on it, right? It's not about stinginess that I'm getting from this, but it's more like you're super comfortable, and you just kind of like, notice how he's put his feet down on those pentacles there, and he's just grasping onto that, like with deer, like, the force of 1,000 suns. He's holding onto that pentacle there, and so therefore he's kind of, just sticking with that. The Knight of Swords. Now, in general, the Knight, what he is doing in that picture, which I feel like I need to show it to you. Um, oh, switch here. So the Knight of Swords is showing a person who's definitely taking charge. The sword represents you know uh, creativity, your thoughts, um, and also types of success. But the other flip of it is that it could be your pain and your the conflicts that we face. But um, something here is telling me that you're feeling kind of like you're like stuck in this place. Um, you're stuck with something, and you want to find a way to kind of continue forward. Um, but you probably don't have the answer for it, and it might be because of this card here. Please let me know if I'm way off here. I'm more than happy to have you tell me that I'm wrong on this. And you're also welcome to tell me if it resonates with you as well. But I just think that your question is about um, like what is it that you want to do, like or how like not about what you want to do, but it's like how can you move forward with your life into bigger and better things. Um, I feel like that's what the question is, or at least that's what I'm getting from this communication here from the universe here. Um, Let me know if I'm on the right track on that. Uh, Pull a couple more cards here. Yeah. So we have the Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups, um, again, the Knight's about taking charge, having confidence, taking action. But with the Cups being your emotions, you're not taking. Again, it's talking about with these things being all in reverse, you're probably not listening to yourself. You are not taking charge with what you really want to do, and you're kind of like complacent maybe, because you have like the stability card happening here, as well as this Queen of Pentacles. Like you have these two here, and you're just kind of like you're just kind of like just going with the flow of things, but you kind of want to break out of that. You want to know how you can get to bigger and better things. So you do definitely have your faith in something. But the star card is a really great reminder. Um, let's see here. So the star card, you don't know what to do with that person. Eesh, yeah, that would definitely make some sense. That would probably resonate with this emotion cards, perhaps. Um, yeah, that definitely kind of fits what this is already saying. Like I've already said it right. Like you are already stable with whatever this is, right? Like it's there, but you're bored with it and you want more out of it. You're not taking on any new paths with whatever you're doing right now, and you're not listening to your emotions either. But in general, you do have the faith in yourself to take upon something. Like you definitely have the confidence to proceed forward, and that's what the star card's communicating to me here. With this card, you notice that she's pouring water into a lake and onto earth, so she's using both parts of the elements um, that makes things work with our emotions, right? The stream also shows like five different streams of water, which is the five senses within you. So you need to have faith in what you feel. It's funny because I said that. I said you need to have faith. You need to listen to your emotions, right? The other thing you notice about her, because she is nude, right? So there's like a vulnerability to her, um, and that's kind of what will actually trigger you to get out of this stale this stagnant position that you're in, this you clinging on to things, and being too stable and being bored. um, you need to get yourself into a vulnerable position here, and when I say vulnerable, not think that's going to make you unsafe, but just more like it's going to make you feel challenged, right? For example, a vulnerable state would be sort of like you're sharing some really deep desires and emotions with this person that you've never shared before, and you know that it's probably going to open up a can of worms, probably for the worst, but you just opened up a vulnerability about yourself to where now you need to figure out on how to deal not with the issue that you created, but dealing with this newfound vulnerability. Because take it like this, for example, I was actually listening to a podcast, and in the gist, he was talking about religions having a good and an evil, right? And we need to have this good and evil, because if it's always good, it's not gonna help us with process. For example, if you watch a movie, there's always some type of villain, right? There's always the protagonist who is the hero of the story, and then you have the second character who's providing the conflict. So if you think about it, if we had movies that just did nothing but good stuff and there was no conflict, it would be a very boring movie, right? It's like watching the Avengers and there's no evil. They're just kind of like we're just watching them pay their bills on a movie. But that's what this card's communicating to me. You need to have some type of vulnerability to kind of help you challenge yourself, like lighting a firecracker under your butt. And we also notice here the star card, she has her knee on the ground and a foot on top of the water. So that means she's connected to her emotions, but she's also stable with being grounded, right? And the other reason why this is a faith card, because you also notice that her foot is like hovering on top of the water, sort of like how in the story about Jesus able to walk on water, right? It has to do with the faith. So then you have the Seven of Wands here, which is sort of like a surprise attack in a way. And I think that kind of goes along with the Star card here, talking about vulnerability. Um, we The person is showing a defensive state, right? But we also notice that he's wearing like two pairs of shoes, different kinds here. So if I was to do wands and then show that picture here, um, he's fighting for like his land, right? He's being very defensive, but it was kind of like a surprise attack. So um, uh, it is going to be hard to kind of show this vulnerability. You will get defensive. Um, or at least I think this is like whoever you're gonna show that vulnerability to, the person will get defensive. It'll be very surprising to that person. They probably don't even see this coming, and I think that's what this is about. You um, showing some type of vulnerability, and then that person's gonna be like, "Whoa, this is left field. Like, when did you ever want to go to McDonald's? I always thought you were a Jack in the Box person. God, fast food. Here I go." But yeah, it's going to be a surprise to that other person. Now let's come up with a couple of answer cards here to see what you can do right now to kind of help open up your creativity and help you figure out what you want to do in this situation. And kind of looking at the whole being stuck with somebody, being vulnerable in a situation, kind of see where this person goes, will also kind of provide you an answer, because you're going to provide something that you really wanted to do but you probably hidden it. And if the person is willing to work with you, then this person is probably somebody that you want to probably continue whatever this relationship is. But if the person is like, yeah, and there's conflict there, then you have to kind of consider, like, okay, is it maybe I should probably move forward. I mean, it will definitely be a surprise and the person will be defensive, but I can't say for certain if the person is going to totally resist this change within you, because I think that's what's going to help you get your answer, is that with you revealing something deep within yourself that you don't really share, in terms of like maybe something you like or want to do, and you've always kept it secret, that this could probably be something, another step in whatever this relationship is with this person you're talking about. So and these answer cards like to have upright because they need to be positive in order to have change. So these are really nice cards, actually. So I'm just trying to figure out what this is really communicating. We have the Ace of Cups, which is a divine figure providing this cup of overflowing emotion. Now, remember I talked about here about this Queen of Pentacles, about you know, nurturing whatever this possession is. I'm getting this again here, where you need to let your emotions flow out. I feel like that with this card here and this whole boredom and this and the Four of Pentacles here, I feel like that maybe there's something within you that doesn't that you don't like to share a lot of things. You're very how can I say this? Like, you have a lot of things that you want to do, but you don't share these ideas because you probably feel that other people don't resonate with those ideas as well. You need to let your emotions free. You need to start letting your emotions pour out, right? And have a little faith in it. And that's kind of what this this bird's kind of, this is what I kind of see the symbol is. I mean, it means something else on the internet, but how I see it is that this bird's providing this this sort of like this body of Christ kind of thing. Like, you're providing like a this newfound knowledge in part of this overflowing cup of emotion going into this water path here. And the Empress and the Queen here are kind of like the same entity. You have the Empress of fertility, compassion, life, creativity. Like, whatever this emotion is that you have is very, very creative. And with the Queen of Cups, once you let this emotion flow out and sparking this creativity, just like the Queen of Pentacles, you're going to nurture that. And we also notice here, this is actually pretty important, as a matter of fact, on this particular card, the Queen of Cups. We see her holding on, like, so we notice that in all these other cups, the pictures, like, they're very, very basic cups, right? And they all have the exact same look across all the different cards. But this one in particular shows her holding on to this very, very luxurious but also sealed cup. And this is how I see it too with this particular thing. She's in touch with her emotions. She's sitting right in front of the ocean, right, of these thoughts and the emotions with that. But even though this one's overflowing, the reason why this is closed, but it's closed in a very luxurious cup, because you want to protect what you believe in. Okay, so as you get creative with these new thoughts and desires that you want to get into, protect it. Sort of like, showing support for what you want to do. Don't be like, oh yeah, I definitely want to get into that, and somebody says, oh no, that's a stupid idea, and then you're like, yeah, that's probably a stupid idea. You don't want to do that. You want to be like, no, it's not a stupid idea. This is an idea, and if you really care for me, then you need to listen to what I have to say. It's not about, sometimes we get a little too submissive in relationships, and you want to be able to kind of share what you want to do. That's the other person has really closed off. Yeah, so if the other person is feeling closed off, I still feel like that this is something that you need to do. You need to tap into your emotions, and your emotions will definitely guide you into what you want to do. It's going to spark this creativity that you have here in terms of what you want to do, and then you want to protect it. Okay, if the other person's going to be closed off while you are showing your passion, your desire of what you want to do and how you want to move on, and that person doesn't want to move on with you, then your answer is clear from that point. You need to kind of focus on you. A relationship is not about stability. It's about really creating a bond and a new relationship. And there is stability required in it, and maybe not a whole lot needs to be done. But the thing is, some people are a little bit more extrovert than introvert, or maybe some people like action, while the other person's probably like a homebody. So you want to be able to, maybe you're that action type person, and I feel like that you do have a lot of action within you, since it's telling me here that you have emotions. You need to let it overflow, and once you let your emotions go, the second you start showing that vulnerability, it's going to make you become creative, even if it causes a conflict and maybe even go into a direction that you probably don't want to do, but or don't want to get into, but it's a direction of something that would actually make you happy, and that's actually what's important. We get into relationships sometimes just for stability, but sometimes we kind of overlook the fact that, am I really happy in this relationship? Yeah, people can definitely grow into a relationship, but you really have to spend a lot of time if you really want to have a relationship grow. So, I hope that was going in the direction, or at least talking about what you want to talk about here. Sorry, I had to make sure the salt proc was, I felt like I was sweating, but it wasn't. But yeah, so yeah, let me know if this was on or off of what you were looking for. But I think this is what you need to really focus on. Is like, really tap into those emotions that you've hidden away, and you'll definitely open up that like the floodgates here. You are very, very welcome. It was my pleasure. All right. I just found out today that salt rocks sweat. So like I'm getting a little paranoid that this rock might be sweating right now, but I think it's just a smooth surface, which is fine with me. Um, it's pretty cold in my room right now, so um, yeah. So let's see here. Next we have Happily Ever After. Excuse me. Okay, I don't think Vinny's here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that person out. Is Happily Ever After still here? And while I'm waiting for a quick response, and we'll get to Doreen. Doreen, are you here with me? I'm gonna go ahead and help me cleanse my energy here real quick. And Ray, it would definitely be a pleasure if you can join me in another stream again. I'd love to read for you again for anything else that you like. All right, I don't see Doreen here. All right. Next we have Kristen. All right. Kristen going once. Kristen going twice. All right. Oh, purple. Are you still with us, purple? I think I might have skipped you by accident. As a matter of fact, I think you were right after Ray. Oh, yeah, it sure was. I accidentally deleted your name from the list there. I apologize. Supporting your friend Fatma. Okay, cool. Hey, Matt. Welcome. I'll go ahead and put you onto the list, Maddie. All right. So, okay, Kristen didn't respond, and I have number one, Fun Katir. Fun Katir, are you here? Yeah, that's why I'm not a songwriter, guys. Debbie. All right, Debbie. Okay, cool. So, Debbie, you've heard how we do this. I prefer you don't ask the question in the chat. So just hear the sound of my voice to where we can have the universe help us get connected here. So take a deep breath. Okay. You are standing at the foot of the lake. The lake is like a gigantic mirror, and it's like a beautiful spring morning. You're feeling tranquil. You're feeling safe and secure, and all you hear right now is just the life surrounding you. And that lake represents our universe. Now go ahead and pick up a rock that you see next to you. This rock, you're going to go ahead and whisper the question that you want assistance with, the question that you want clarification with. Once you whisper it, toss that rock right into the water. And you're going to watch those ripples expand out, and that is the energy reaching to me from the universe. All right. All right, Debbie. I think by now you probably have your stone thrown in. So let's see here. This one's feeling a little neutral for some reason, so I'm just going to use the angel deck on this one. All right. You know, I'm reading the number one Funketeer. I'm seeing it as either you're a fun Katir, like the three musketeer as a fun, or funk a tier, like you're funky. I like the nightlife. I like to boogie on the disco. Oh yeah. I don't know why I did that. I hope it's funketeer because I like to get a little funky too. Hence, that's why I have my channel as Groovyouverse. I like to find my groove and hope you like to find that funk. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, first of all, um, first of all, we have the Ace of Earth. The Ace of Earth is about like taking upon new opportunities. Now, with this here, what's it? Earth, that would be the Pentacles. So this is a divine figure handing you this earthly possession. This could be an opportunity. This could be money, job, um, education, anything that's earthbound. This is what's being provided to you, and this is actually kind of a good thing. Well, it is reversed, but this could mean something else. But we do see here that ahead is a doorway, filled with flowers and things like that. But there's rocky mountains in the background, showing that there's going to be some work involved too. But with it reversed, I mean, there could be some multiple meanings to it. I mean, sometimes it's easy to say that it means the opposite, but I think there's probably a little bit more here, which we're going to take a look at because I like to see what the entire picture is about. We have the Awakening, which is also known as the Hanged Man. Usually, the Hanged Man just represents that you're looking at things in a new way. Then we have the Page of Air. If you've probably heard me explain this before about who the page is, about creativity and being a student and things like that. And the air kind of represents, again, like some things about creativity, but more like our thoughts, what we think about, and also ways of communication too. Now, let's see here. We also have the Queen of Air as well. Another nurturing type of card. You know, there are some things I'm noticing here in the pictures that might tell this story further, but in general, with the Queen of Air, she is a very forgiving person. She is very confident for that matter too, especially being an air card. And we notice this in her picture here, that she's holding that world in her hand, but she's looking into that world very passionately. Again, signifying the confidence of what a queen represents. The renewal card is also the Judgment card. The Judgment card was one of the major Arcana cards in the Rider Waite deck, and what it talks about is trying to move forward into a new life, kind of thing. With the Judgment card, we see these people kind of raising from the dead as this holy trumpet is being blown, and they are waiting to be received into heaven so they can move on, past their death, whatever put them in there. And we notice that these coffins are kind of floating on water. This is like all about our emotions. So like, how can we move forward from this state of how we feel into bigger and better things? Then we have the Page of Earth, similar to how the Page of Air is about creativity, being a student or being a creative student, and you're on this path. Um, but being with it with the Pentacles, it's about like um, taking on to a journey and learning how um, to utilize this opportunity. How can you grow and learn to become better? Because there's definite goal with being a page. Because if you're a page, you turn into a squire, and then from the squire, you turn into a knight. So we're seeing a lot of reversals here. Um, I feel like that. I'm not gonna look at your chat just yet. I noticed you just chatted something, but I'm not gonna look at it just yet because I don't want to be biased on this. But plus, I definitely want to see if I can figure this out. But um, what I am seeing here is I feel like that you want to move forward with something. Um, you want to move forward with something despite the fact that your thoughts are clear. You have the Page of Air and you're the Queen of Air, and you take your thoughts, the way you think, very seriously. As a matter of fact, you probably take action with it. But there's certain things that are happening, though. Like even though these are like your thoughts, because you like to process things. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like you like to process the situation, but whatever this situation is that's coming up here, I feel like that you are having problems finding a new route. Um, Maybe job related, perhaps. I think it has something to do with like something physical. Uh, Either money or job opportunities, something like that. Something's telling me it's more like job, really. Um, as I, coming to a first first thought that kind of pops into my head. I feel like that this question is probably revolving an opportunity of some sort. You probably feel stagnated. You probably want to know how you can probably get out of this. Hence the Judgment card, this renewal card. How can you get out of it? Because you tried different things. You probably tried whatever this current situation that you're in. You try to do something, you try to change it around, you try to look at it at a different angle and stuff like that, but it's not working out for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw some more cards. Maybe we can get some clarity here. But let's see here. I have been through much. My life is completely changed, turned upside down, so to speak. There has been strife, but it is making me stronger and changed in a positive way. That's good. I always say this. I'm not sure if you heard me say it earlier tonight, but we all look for being in the light of things, right? We always say like, "Oh, I want to be positive with light," but within light, there's always darkness. Always, always, always. You can't deny it. You can't deny darkness. But it's good though, because within the darkness, it's dark enough for you to look up and see the stars. That means that opportunities await. And that can. And it also helps us spark imagination. As I'm drawing out these cards, I'm going to explain something other thing too. I saw in a TED talk. This guy was talking about if education is stifling creativity, and he talked about this story about this one girl um, who was drawing a picture on a board, and the teacher says, "What are you drawing a picture of?" And the girl says, "Oh, I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher goes, "But that's impossible. You don't know what God looks like. Nobody does." And the little girl goes, "Well, they will in a few minutes." And the whole point of it is that even though she may be wrong, as as an adolescent child, they're not afraid to be wrong, right? But as we grow older, we want to try to become perfect. But that's the problem. We stifle creativity because there's no failure. We need to have these failures, right? And the fact that you went through some tough times that it made you stronger, you're definitely becoming creative with that. You can be creative really deeply, as a matter of fact, with these failures. So we have the World card, Nine of Air, and the Wheel of Fortune. Now, um, in general, the World is about stepping through a gateway, completing goals. Um, you do have goals, but they're not completed yet. you, and I think that's kind of like pretty much black and white with this particular card, that you just don't have the goals are there, but the goals haven't been completed yet. But the reason why they're not completed yet, because I think you're having a lot of fear. The Nine of Air communicates fear, because let me pull up that card here real quick. Usually it can also mean like sleepless nights and things like that, but we see here this person waking up with these swords, right? And the person looks, heated. His skin tone's really red, as well as the fact that he's putting his hands in his face as he woke up at night, and because he had these really bad dreams. Even the picture in his bed right there shows a man kind of charging at somebody else who's kind of falling back. So um, again, this symbolizes just envisioning a type of failure, envisioning a fear, or a fear is bothering you, where it's draining you. It's draining you because you're not getting. It's either because you're not getting enough sleep, or it's really distracting you. Where just like as a bad dream would wake you out of sleep, that's something that you really need. Fear can definitely distract you away from something that you really need, right? Like hence needing sleep at night. So with that said, we have the Nine of Air, and I think this fear that you're having, whatever this fear is causing you not to complete your goals. And I think you might have ran into some bad luck here, thus causing these fears. Let me ask about this bad luck here. This will kind of help me better understand why this is occurring. And you're, again, more than welcome to tell me if I'm wrong here. So, universe, if you can tell me, what is this Wheel of Fortune about? Tell me what this Wheel of Fortune is about. I think you had a really emotional impact on whatever this bad luck is. We have the Four of Water, which it usually talks about, like, kind of being bored about something. Um, I mean, four is about stability, right? But in the story about the Four of Cards is that this divine figure is providing these thoughts, these emotions, these skills, things like that. It just keeps on giving it to him, giving it to him, giving it to him, and then he just kind of places these cups in front of him, and he's just kind of bored with the fact that these are just coming at him. And then the Eight of Water is about having wishful thinking, being careful what you wish for, um, uh, and not knowing what you want as well. And when I say like be careful what you wish for, it's sort of like, you know, I wish for $1 million, but instead of getting bucks as in money, you're giving $1 million as in like the reindeer kind of buck kind of thing, right? So yeah, you have to be careful what you wish for. And the thing is, like when you wish for things, it can mean a negative or a positive happening your way. And I think something probably, you probably had some bad thoughts of some sort. Um, I feel like that you were probably, because I'm trying to figure out how the Eight of Water and the Four of Water go together. Um, as a matter of fact, I wonder if this World card is actually tied into this Four of Water. That that's kind of weird. Uh, this is okay. This is what it kind of makes a scary sense to me here. I'm not looking at the chat. I know you're chatting, but I'm not looking at it just yet because I don't want to know what you're saying. But I feel like that your goals were probably not getting finished because of this, maybe this complacent feeling that you had, like this boredom or uneasiness that you have with like your thoughts and stuff like that. Like the goals weren't getting completed because of that, but it is all due because of these fears that you have too, and these fears is based on this this emotion, this negative emotion of um um oh wait, am I thinking the wrong cups here? Let me double check, make sure. I think I'm thinking the wrong cups here, which will definitely change this around. And if it is, then that'll make a lot more sense. Yep, it definitely is. It's not wishful thinking at all. Okay, that makes even more sense. Okay, I really apologize. The Eight of Water is about this. Actually, that picture right there that I'm showing right now. The Eight of Water is about walking away from your, not from your past, but it's more like escaping your past in a way. You're having problems with that. The story behind the Eight of Water is is about, you know, we see this guy, he has these cups kind of lined up, right? But it looks like there's something missing there, right? So um, he worked at building up his emotions, but it didn't work out. So he kind of just left it unfinished and started walking away from the problem, right? He didn't get to complete it, and we see him kind of like, you know, walking away with the stick and this with the wand, and excuse me, and he had to cross over this body of water, which is difficult to do. You know, that this shows determination of wanting to escape it, right? A desire to move on, but you're not able to escape it. I think with this being reversed, it's coming back at you, and then with this here, this Four of Water. See, this is actually starting to make a lot more sense to me here now. Um, you're dealing with a lot of emotional baggage, I think, and that's what's causing this Nine of Air to occur. And I think it's manifesting some bad luck here too. The Magician here, on the other hand, like you really want to try to move it around, right? You're trying to create things, because the Magician is about creating something that's the impossible, which is um, the thought that you need in order to do the thing that you need. But it's like, what is the thing that you need? And the Magician there is what conjures that. He conjures the thing that you need in order to start working on it, right? And then comes number two, which is the Empress, which, or not the Empress, but the High Priestess. And the High Priestess provides the intuition in order for you to start working on that problem. Now, um, um, I think what this is communicating here, this Magician, is like you've been trying to deal with your emotions here, but in the end, it has manifested some bad luck to where it's really kind of built on this fear within you, thus not allowing you to complete your goals. So I think the question here is, um, how can we turn this around? How can we get this luck turned around, and how can we get you to put behind some of your past? Not really past, but how we can put behind us um, these these bad thoughts and emotions that's been kind of hurting you, and it could be from a traumatic event. Let's see here. What have you said? Um, uh, I definitely don't know what I want. The rug was pulled out from under me, still processing it. Uh, yes, my past was taken from me. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I really think that what you need here is yeah, whatever has happened here with this Eight of Water is manifesting some bad luck. That bad luck is creating the the fear, right? Because if it wasn't for this issue, I mean, that's definitely obvious, right? If it wasn't for these issues, then we wouldn't be having these fears. But um, like I said earlier, you have the Queen of Air and the Page of Air. Your thoughts are super strong, and I think you need to hone into that because it's about the air is also about logic, and I think that you're also a very logical person, um, but you're very easily influenced with your emotions too. But I think logic is actually more on your side, and I'm thinking you know this too. So let's get some answer cards to see how we can turn this around here for you. I like to have the answer cards upright because that's, you know, that's just how I work. So let's see here. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Earth, and the Star. This is actually really interesting. How I said this because, you know, I talked about logic, and I also talked about how your emotions are getting to you, right? The Three of Earth is about cooperation, teamwork. You let me show you the picture of it. So we show a guy here who's doing some type of construction, and he has these other two people showing him the plans, and they're all working together. I think you need to be around like-minded people in terms of your creativity. That's very similar to the Queen of Air and the Page of Air. You need to get with more logical people, and especially creative people as well. If it means making new friends, which it doesn't really say here making new relationships, because you probably already have people who are super logical, and I think this answer card here, this Five of Earth, is both an answer and your current characteristic. And the reason why I say that because the Five of Earth is kind of a gloomy one actually. The Five of Earth shows a picture of these two people that look homeless. You have one person who is walking with like very thin garments, and the other person is walking with crutches with a broken leg in the middle of a snowstorm. And behind them happens to be like a church or a home or something like that with the window lit, and they're just walking by. And the whole story about it is, they probably suffered from some type of loss, to where in that loss they decide to kind of make it on their own and not get help. And I think that's what you're kind of doing right now. You're probably trying to figure out how you can do this yourself. Hence why this bad luck is being manifested. So these two actually work really well together, right? And the Star actually is another important like kind of thing that kind of ties the knot in all this. Actually, you have the Three of Earth about cooperation. Get with people who can work with you, because the Five of Earth, you want to ask for help, right? And I'm not talking about like go find a like a psychic or what you call it, a psychiatrist or something like that for help. Like when I say help, like you're finding help, it's just like, you know, don't be afraid to accept a helping hand for one, or don't be afraid to go to somebody in your time of need. And that can mean like maybe emotional support or something like that, or getting clarity, just like how you're coming to me right now. You know, that kind of represents a little bit of what the Five of Earth is, that you are missing something, therefore you're coming here for clarity. And that's kind of what, you know, the whole experience is with tarot readers and psychics. They want to, you know, people are seeking for that missing piece of the puzzle. So this is your answer. You need to get along with you need to get around like-minded people such as yourself, the creativity and the logical type people. Bond with them, work with them, learn from them as well, right? And with the Five of Earth, don't be afraid to, you know, to open up and ask for help. And it could be, it doesn't even have to be related to this particular issue, but it can be, you know, for anything, because by asking help, you create new relationships, right? You create new bonds, especially this Three of Earth, the cooperation. Now, the Star here, the Star card is about having faith in you. So the Star card shows a nude woman who is pouring water into a lake and onto the earth, and the earth one especially because it's spreading out into 5 different trails, which signifies um, the 5 senses that we're going through. Now, we do notice though that, you know, her foot's over the water, like floating on top of it, because her faith is keeping her from going into the water, and she has a knee planted right there onto the ground. So you want that ground, the earth, is the pentacles or the earth card as we see it here, right? So just remember that it's okay to be in touch with your emotions, hence why her foot is in the water. Keep in touch with your emotions, but keep your knee on that ground to keep that stability on the earth. Still be earthbound while still having your toe in the water. Um, and that right there, it takes some faith, like your own personal faith and your own personal beliefs to do that. And it definitely takes a lot of work for your emotions to be in that state where you can let your emotions help you, but you need to not let it drive you to where it's going to cause fear. There needs to be some logic within you, and this is actually specifically for you because everybody has different ways of how they balance their emotions and stuff like that. And with the star card here, um, you need to find that balance on how your emotions can help you and not drive you, right? Because I think what drives you more is the logical approach. You're like more of the air card than anything else, but you're for some reason letting the water card affect you. And as you mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if you're chatting right now. I'm looking at the screen, but you did mention that something got pulled from underneath you super quick. It caused a surprise and thus this turmoil, and you need to add some logic to it. That's what you need to do. Um, but in order to help you out in the situation, and even though you may have gotten past it in a way, it's still coming back to haunt you because this is why you're here, and this is why these cards are saying, get with like-minded people, and then their energy is going to work with you, and then it'll spark creativity, guaranteed. And then again, find the balance between your emotions and the earth, right? Where you have that balance with your logic and the balance with your emotions. And I think you're more balanced towards the earth than you are with the emotion part. Like you like to put logic first, then the emotion. And I think that's what you need to do. And that's why this became chaotic, because you let your emotions take over more than your logic. And then you kind of got into like this little recursive loop into fear. So let me see what you said here. Past tape from, yeah, pretty spot on. Well, that card looks scary. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. Um, I'm glad I think I hit something there when you said, "Oh my God, yes." So I think you need to. I think your answer is clear right there. And whatever the issue is, I don't know exactly full-heartedly what it is, but I definitely know that the issue lies within your emotions right now. You've been hurt, and it's manifesting bad luck, and you need to turn this around where you know you don't let your emotions drive you. I'm gonna draw one more single card. Actually, something's telling me to do this for you. As a matter of fact, not exactly sure what it's for. Oh, look at that! Holy cow! Oh my god! I'm super excited right now. This is like something told me I cut the deck just now, and then I just drew this card for you. Um, this is exactly what you effing need right now. And the story behind the strength card, which is the major arcana card, um where is it? Here it is. So we see a person who is um taming a lion here. Not taming a lion, but she's petting the lion, and this lion has definitely befriended her, right? But it's not the fact that strength is helping this keep this lion to her side. It's the strength within her, the character, causing this relationship with this lion, right? Lion is, if we look at it on a real world's perspective, lions are wild animals, and they can kill you. Even like Ringling Brothers, they have problems taming their lions, but they do it with force and they do it with strength. But the thing is, there's videos out there where somebody has befriended themselves with the actual lion, and they didn't have to use strength like that. They actually just used actual real character and love, and the lion, greeted that person. It's a really super old video too. It has like the meme of the video, the song "I'll Always Love You" with Whitney Houston, and the guy reunited with this lion after I think a few years, and the lion came and gave him a super fat hug because he remembered him, and it's because of that relationship. But the moral of it is that find your inner strength. You need to tap into this, definitely, because And you know that in combination with these other two right here and the star card, you will be unstoppable. And then you're going to turn over these other two cards right there, and then your work is done. You're going to get that you're going to get the Wheel of Fortune turned right side up. You're going to get your goals done, and then you'll be able to look at the universe in a whole different light, and then take on new opportunities. There, right there. It can't be any more done. I'm not even going to draw any more cards on this one because that right there seals the deal. So I really hope you really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. That was a very pleasant surprise there at the very end. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So for all of you who are still with me, I'm definitely still continuing. I just wanted to kind of note, or at least ask, to please leave your feedback in the comments below. I definitely would love to hear what you have to say about this readings, if I was off or if I was on point. What are the things that you liked and didn't like? I definitely want to hear what you have to say about your feedback, especially if it's bad stuff, because I need to know what I've done wrong with this reading. That way I can learn from my mistakes and then make my connection better with the universe, and then, you know, further increasing the talent, or at least my talent that I have, with, you know, identifying this energy and these characteristics. So I've been searching. I have faith it will come any day now. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, keep the search going, and don't force it either. Don't force it. It's going to come to you. And even like getting creative, and this is just basic information really, you know, getting into a hobby, to bring out the sun card out of you, which is this. If you can find a hobby that can make you feel like this sun card, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want you to look at that card really well, and I want you kind of like, come up with some keywords. Put it in the chat right now. I want you to come up with some keywords to, you know, what does this say to you? You know, I'll definitely let you know what I think about it. But what do you identify with the sun card right now? Because this is what you need too. Um, and I'll wait. I'll see what your thing is, and I'll let you know after I see your chat. But in the meantime, let's go back to our sign up sheet here. That was really good. I'll keep the card up there for you. Next, I have Fatma Hamden and Maddie G. After that, I don't have anybody else coming up on the thing here. Purple, are you still with me? I still see you in the chat. Oh, I didn't. Okay. So, and to Funketeer, so that's definitely something to. That's definitely a good keyword. Um, oh, okay. Then I will continue forward. To Fatma. So, Funketeer, to kind of finish the what you call it, to finish up on this card here. So Bright Future is definitely something, and that what that card communicates to you, then it could definitely feel right. It could definitely be right as well. There's never real a true answer to these cards. Everybody can see these cards differently. How I usually see it is that this is like a child who's having a lot of fun, right? Um, the story is that the child is vulnerable riding on a horse, and there's just like life and sunflowers all over the place, just signifying that it's like a childlike happiness, right? And can definitely mean a bright future because the horse is moving forward towards you, right? Um, and being sun being bright and the sun and the horse moving forward, that could definitely resonate with bright future. So, and I think what you can connect with that card is by getting into some type of hobby. I say this a lot with a lot of people. Get into a hobby that will bring out the sun card out of you, and then on top of that, you'll be able to actually resonate with all the different people to kind of get to that strength card and to the other pentacle cards that we looked at. Okay. All right. So, Fatma. All right. So, welcome. And so you probably already heard the process. So let's go ahead and get right to it, shall we? So let's go ahead and oh, hi, Paloma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm just gonna help balance my energy out here real quick. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so just listen to the sound of my voice. Take a nice deep breath, deep enough to where you start to feel those little goose chills all over your body. That means you got a good deep breath. All right. So you're at the lake, and for some reason, camping comes into my mind right now. I think camping is like one of the most favorite things you like to do because you love to feel that morning air and camp. I think that's the one thing you always look forward to in camping. So let's just pretend that you're camping because that's what you feel more secure with. And you happen to be, camping alone, but you're still feeling safe because you have nature around you and everything. You're just soaking it all in, but you're looking at the lake, and that lake is like one gigantic mirror, and it's reflecting all the life around you, and that mirror is the universe. Now I want you to look down, pick up a rock, and whisper into that rock the question or the issue that you want to get clarification on. Once you've done that, throw that rock into the lake, and let's watch those ripples expand as you create that splash. And those ripples is the energy manifested by the universe sending your question to me. Something about my left side right now keeps pinching me on my side, so I'm gonna go with the angel deck here. Paloma, we can definitely do a reading for you. I'll put you on the list. And while I'm working on this deck here, shuffle it, there's the list right now. And I think I'm going to make you my last person, Paloma. Because first I have Fatma, which is right now, then Maddie G, and then Paloma. And then purple, if you want to do one too. For some reason, I keep feeling guilty for some reason. I skipped you, but if you'd like to get onto this list too, I'll definitely fit you in. All right. So while I'm doing this, I invite you guys to take a look at my channel as well. I have I'm starting a YouTube series called the Groovyouverse Diaries. where I just kind of talk about myself a little bit, my experiences, do little reviews and everything. But it's really the mission about it is, as I'm going on this journey, I feel like that I need to release my baggage. Like I mean, I definitely have my partner and everything, but I feel like that I need to express and open up, past baggage issues, in order for me to connect more with the universe, and to kind of feel a sense of being free from these issues to kind of help me move forward. Um, there's some other things I have plans too, but um, I really aim for this just to kind of share the experience and to also connect with people and share ideas back and forth and even just kind of communicate and talk. So um, yeah, thank you, Purple. Um, so yeah, I definitely invite you all to please take a look at that. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do my video schedule, but uh, that's something I'm working on. But I definitely would like to, I'm gonna try to maybe do maybe a video maybe every other day or maybe a couple times a week. Just to kind of get some content started, and then I'll definitely have a strong direction of the channel. But I hope you all find um, you know I guess a joy out of it, I suppose, or some interest out of it. I also like to focus on like making myself smile and uh, what you call smile and laugh at things. So some things I thought about doing was I always wanted to try to do. Oh, one art just already popped out here. Um, what I've always wanted to try to do is like try not to laugh, kind of challenge things. Like just not always just be focused on just the spiritual journey and hearing about my issues, but I also like to talk about like a lot of the fun things too. So hopefully I like to share that with everybody. Oh, happily, I have actually chatted with in there and even called your name out. You didn't respond. um I've already promised. Yeah, so what I'll do, I'm doing Fat Matt. I've already promised Maddie. Um, I'll put you after Maddie, um, because he's been also here waiting here patiently. I know you've been also waiting here patiently. Um, that is if Maddie doesn't mind, just moving back one step. That way you can take your turn. I don't want to, pressure somebody with stuff like that. But I guess we'll cross that path when we get to it, and we'll figure it out. Okay. Okay. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. Fatma. Another one popped out for you. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get these things stick. Okay, so here's the deal with this. So, you know, reverse cards not always meaning bad things, but they can definitely communicate something different or a reversal or lack of energy here. Um, just at first glance here, I'm not seeing too much direction in terms of a maybe possible question. I think it's more like maybe a character or a general review, but we'll get more into that. You can definitely correct me later in a little bit if I'm on the wrong path here. But we have here the Empress card. The Empress is about fertility, life, creativity, and things like that. Um, and with it being reverse, it could mean a few things, which I haven't tied it down just to what it could mean, but it could mean like lack of creativity or not enough energy being put into your creativity, um, or maybe like you're not feeling very compassionate or not very forgiving for that matter as well. You even have the Two of Air. The Two of Air is like a type of duality with um, something that's conflicting you. Perhaps the Two of Air usually shows a woman holding on two swords. As a matter of fact, I can show it right now what it looks like. So the woman is holding onto two swords, and she's sitting behind, or she's sitting in front of, this body of water, which represents her emotions. Yeah, excuse me. And that's what the air represents as the sword. It's a type of conflict that the person is kind of up against, right? A decision in this conflict, and it's sort of like a double-edged sword, like you kind of damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of thing. That's kind of how I get from it. With it being reversed, along with the Empress card, I feel that something is telling me that you're constantly dealing with a lot of conflicts, like a lot of decision-based conflicts, and something's coming to mind um, that it's almost like, why do I have to make the decision? Like, I think the decision always falls upon you, and you don't like that. Um, and we have here the Knight of Earth, which is also the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is about, if I'm trying to remember offhand. Sometimes it's kind of hard looking at it without the actual photo here, but here it is. That's 8. Oh no, that's what it is. I forgot. Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is about like living in the life of luxury. Um, we see here the woman kind of like gently placing her hand on top of one of those pentacles, um, and we see her kind of filled around her with fruit. Um, we see a bird with like a little helmet on the bird that's sort of like maybe she has like a pet bird, something like that. She's dressed in gold, which kind of shows like a luxury. She has her house in the background. Everything around her is gold, so it's like all luxury, right? But with this reading reverse, it could mean that I feel that, I mean, it could easily be said that you're not living the life of luxury, but I think that what this really more communicating to me is that you prefer not living in the life of luxury. That's kind of what I'm getting a feeling from, actually, from this, because I'm also noticing here, or at least before I get to that, actually, and the reason why I came to that conclusion, we have all the three of these in reverse. So like you're dealing with these things, these conflicts. Um, and I think you feel that you're not creative at these decisions as well. Um, and maybe it's not about preferring not living the life of luxury, but I think it's just more like your comfort. I think that's actually what it's really telling me here. Because if we think about life of luxury, we're thinking about major comfort, right? I haven't looked at your chat just yet, so I'm not sure if you're saying anything to me about it, but I think this is more like you're not comfortable at all with this whole issue of this decision making and stuff like that, and that's why this is upside down. You're not really comfortable in your position with this, with whatever this is about. Now you also have here the Knight of Air. The Knight of Air is about dealing with like your fears. Um, if I look at the picture here, the swords. So this is what the picture looks like. We show the person waking up at night, looking red there. It kind of tells me that this person, woke up from a really bad dream, and so they can also mean like sleepless nights as well, like, or you're just lacking the energy due to this fear. Um, and we then have here the Eight of Water, which kind of like goes a little bit in hand with what that is about. So that's also known as the Eight of Cups. Oh, that's 5, 6, 7. Shoot, I keep missing that one. The Eight of Cups is this one. The Eight of Cups is about the story behind that is like we see the person like laying out, um, uh, like laid out in a particular way, but there's one cup missing, so it's almost like he kind of gave up on that that building up those cups, and then he actually is taking like this huge leaps and bounds just to get away from the issue. And I say that because we noticed that it's completely on its own island there, the cups, and he had to cross over that body of water just to get to the other side of the land, and he did it by himself, and that takes a great feat. So I think this goes in hand in hand. Air and water is actually not really a compatible element to each other, too. Like adding air to water causes storms, right? Um, and that's kind of like the metaphor I see it. And I believe these two complement each other in a way to where, you know, your fears is causing you to walk away from unfinished business, I think. Um, and then on top of that, we have here the Page of Fire, where Page is about creativity, taking on an adventure to become somebody. Because the Page, in medieval times, he would, be born into a royal or rich family, and he learns the ways to become a proper gentleman, to become a squire, and then a knight for the king. And at the same time, you know, because he's a kid, he's sort of like a student, and most students are like outgoing. They want to go do things, they're creative and stuff like that. So I feel that this goes in hand with, again, with the Empress, that your creativity is kind of shot here. Um, you're definitely dealing with a duality um, on your own, not just because you don't like dealing with it, but I think it's just like you're facing a decision here. But whatever the decision is, um, it's based on you walking away from something. So I'm gonna pull some more cards here. Shuffle this here real quick. Hate making the last call. Whoa, what was that one? I guess I'm feeling stuck career-wise. That can definitely make sense in this, because if you're walking away from these cups, I guess you're sort of like accepting defeat. You're kind of you've accepted what it is, and then you're just kind of like moving on, or you want to move on, but you're leaving unfinished business there, and it's causing a fear. Now we just got this Ace of Fire, which is also known as Ace of Wands, and this is usually kind of like a symbol of a new journey, maybe even a new opportunity. But let's figure out some more about this. So I feel like we just pulled some answer cards here, actually. I'm going to get to this one in just a second. I just want to make sure if I'm right here. Now, these other next three cards that I'm pulling here, they might be something about your current state, perhaps. It might be just gibberish too, which I'm gonna have to make a decision on that. But let's see what this will say. Oh yeah, I think this is your current state right here, and this is your answer card, and I'll explain why. First of all, looking at this current state here, we have the Page of Earth. This is sort of like, again, about the page I mentioned about, like, learning to become somebody, the creativiness and stuff like that. Like with the Page of Pentacles, it's almost like you are, you have a path set for you, right? You have a path set for you to help you get onto this new opportunity, and I think you're doubting yourself with these new opportunities coming around, perhaps. And the reason why I say that, because we have this Empress card, the High Priestess card, which follows the Magician, and the Magician is the creator of things, right? And the High Priestess provides the intuition and the idea that you need in order to continue forward with that created thought. So, I think this is more like you want to learn new things to maybe even better your career, perhaps, as you mentioned that you're struggling career wise. But I believe that you feel that you're lacking maybe the skills, perhaps, or you feel like you're just not enough for a particular job, or in order to proceed forward, and it's causing great stress. a lot of stress, as a matter of fact, because we have the moon here. The moon, I mean, this particular card in the angel deck is kind of trying to be positive about it, and I kind of relate more towards the Rider Waite deck. And the moon card, which is this one, we see a dog, a wild dog and a domesticated dog, and this is sort of like, you know, putting two, you putting a wild dog with a domesticated dog together. That's going to cause a problem, stress. In my definition, like a type of anxiety. So I think right now, because of your lack of confidence in terms of you trying to get more creative with a job or maybe an opportunity, it's creating an anxiety with you. Okay. Now, um, I have these answer cards here, and I really believe that these are answer cards. The reason why I say that, because let me pull up here the pentacles real quick. No, that's the pentacles, that's the cups. Yeah. These are definitely answer cards. And it's sort of like, in a way, here, let me just go ahead and explain this real quick. So the Ace of Fire. The Ace of Fire is about, just like the Ace of Wands and things like that, or the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Cups. It's a starting point, right? That's what the Ace is about. Ace of Fire is like taking on a new journey. And maybe even be a new opportunity for that matter. And for that, let's look at this here, the Major Arcana. No, it's not Major Arcana. It's a wand actually. Wands. There we go. Ace of Wands. We see here a divine figure giving this wand, this new desire, this new passion, this new passion and path. I mean, that's what I meant to say. And we see here, you know, there's a stream of water and there's a house in the background. So that kind of means that, you know, the path is there. A new path is being set to you, and your goals are within reach. Okay, so I think there's going to be a new opportunity coming to you. Not exactly sure what that is, but it's definitely going to come to you. Now I'm going to skip the 5 of water for a second and come to the 4 of fire. The 4 of fire is also known as the 4 of wands. It's coming to a completion where you are going to get stabilized. The wands, because we think about this as number 4. 4 is being stable, and if you think about it, the wands is wood, and we use wood as a tool, and therefore you're building upon a home. As you see this picture here, we see a celebration happening. You see people partying in the background with John and Jane Doe here in the middle, kind of throwing this bouquet up in the air, and we see these wands kind of like tied together with a wreath. So this is kind of like talking about a celebration of completing this goal, right, of creating this household. But you know, it's a happy goal, like it's a happy completion, and you were able to be successful about it. But there's still work to be done. Now, the 5 of water sits in the middle, and I think this is the reason why. It's actually kind of a negative card. But as an answer card, I think it's trying to tell you something actually more than it is what you need to do. Where is it? Cups. 5 of cups. So we see this guy here standing, you know, looking kind of sorrow, you know, but he's kind of like dwelling on things. And this is sort of like a short, crying over spilled milk. We see him looking at the 3 cups that are spilt over, but there's 2 perfectly standing cups behind him. Even in the background, we see a stream of water, which is his emotions, but there's a bridge over it. So we think of the term, it's bridge, it's water under the bridge at this point. So it's like, you know, oh yeah, so I dropped my cup of milk. No problem. It doesn't stain. I can just go and clean it up. But in this card, I think what you do is you dwell on things when issues occur, and you kind of create a lot of scenarios in your head, perhaps, and that's kind of what this card does. You're saying like, man, I really wish I could do that. Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? It's petty, and I say petty because you're wasting your energy on it. And now the reason why I said this one last, because look at this. It's surrounded by fire, this water card. Now, what happens to water when you apply fire underneath it? It boils, right? It turns into steam and it evaporates. You need, like this right here, this new opportunity, and you completing your goals, not just because of this opportunity, but in general, complete your goals and your projects. And this right here is going to boil away those emotional things about that you're dwelling on, right? And these two are going to become very important to you. Okay, when you'll see this Ace of Fire come around, I don't know, but you'll feel it. Okay, I really do believe you're going to feel it here, and to kind of help aid this Ace of Fire, just start completing some of the goals. I'm not seeing here anything about not completing goals, but you are having some fear issues and anxiety and stuff like that. So, completing the goals in your personal projects or even work-related projects will help you get where you need to go. Let's see what you've been saying here. I guess I'm feeling stuck career-wise. I'm just too tired to do something I enjoy before. That's true. Recently, I feel demotivated at work. That's nice to hear. Yeah, I overthink a lot about my faults. Yeah, so um, it's funny that you said, you're talking about, you're tired of doing something that you used to enjoy before. You need to find, you need to probably start doing, completing some personal projects to kind of bring this joy back to you. Something's telling me I should probably draw another card for you. Not exactly sure if this is going to make things worse or not, but let me give it a good shuffle here, actually. But something's telling me I should pull out another card here, which might kind of seal the deal here, or tie the knot, or just kind of add to this. Oh, well, you got two cards that actually popped out here. Yes. So, very interesting. You have the Queen of Fire here, which is about having some confidence in yourself and taking, showing some compassion towards the things that you like, that your compassion towards your passion. This kind of sounds weird, but um, we even see her in this picture here, like she's looking pretty strong. She has a lot of fire here. She's dealing, playing with fire kind of thing in a good way. But the Queen of Fire is really about just having a grace, creativity, showing compassion and responsibility and emotion towards your passions. And once you, like I said, once you've, and actually this is really weird. Now that I mentioned this, so I mentioned earlier, I said about the fires surrounding the water to make it sizzle away. Look at this. We got another fire card here to make this sizzle away. And look, we even have the sun. And what does the sun bring? It brings heat. So all this right here is going to provide this warmth for you. The warmth that you need because you maybe have been feeling cold in the inside. But this all right here is going to bring some warmth. It's going to fizzle away this 5 of water to where you can say goodbye to those unfinished business of emotions and ideas or things like that. Hence why you need to complete your goals in the 4 of fire. But once you've got that all done, you're gonna have nothing but fire and heat. The sun card is you've heard me talk about it with the other person. The sun card is about getting in touch with your your childlike happiness, right? Having a bright future for that matter, uh, and also kind of putting on a small little vulnerability about yourself too, because sometimes you need to show a little bit of vulnerability in order for you to make a change. if we hold on to those vulnerabilities and put it to the back burner, then no change is going to occur. So, yeah. Um, let's see here. I need to focus on what makes me happy so I can find my passion again. Yeah, absolutely. You need to do that. And look, it's saying it right here. It's so directed right here. You're dealing with conflicts. You're so uncomfortable with it. You have this anxiety. You're having a lot of fears and stuff like that. Listen to all this stuff that's happening. Focus on your passion. What is it that you're passionate about? Or if you used to be happy about this thing that you used to do and you're no longer happy about it, how can you spin it around to make it happy? How can you bring joy to this passion that you used to have? Maybe this is what these other two cards are about. You have this passion, you have something that you really enjoyed. You need to find out how can you make it better? How can you make yourself happy again doing this line of work? Or just finish your projects and look out for these new opportunities coming around. Because whatever this is, you're going to feel very passionate about it. You're going to feel a new journey with it, and it's going to sizzle away your problems. And you won't even have to worry about it. So I hope that was really helpful for you. Whew. All right. Okay, so we got Maddie G and then Happily Ever After. Awesome, yeah. You know what? We're always on the quest to learn new things. So you know, definitely take advantage of any type of education around you. All right, Maddie. So you probably already heard my process on how I do things. It's kind of fun, right? So I'm just gonna have you just listen to my voice here for a second as we get tuned together as we start this connection. All right. So let me just releasing some of the energy here real quick. Get a clean slate here. Yeah, and doing that to my hair pretty much does it, right? All right, let's see here. The light surrounds me, the energy that binds us. Please help find clarity so I may do this next reading. All right. So, Hattie, just listen to my voice, and we're gonna have a lot of fun here. All right. So, imagine that you're at the foot of the lake, and you're probably got you. I feel like you probably already got that stone ready to go in, but we're just gonna go ahead and do this anyway. So, you notice how beautiful the lake is. I feel like you just threw the stone in already. You're like, let's just get to work. It's okay though, but Paloma, no, you are definitely there, Paloma. I'm sorry. You are definitely there. Hold on. I put happily after Maddie because happily ever after was here earlier, and I'll definitely get to you, Paloma. I promise. Okay, so sorry about that. Thank you for checking me. All right, so yeah, Matt, I feel like you already threw that rock. That's perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. Go ahead and throw that rock in there. That rock is your question. That rock is the thing that you need to have clarification on. And I'm already visualizing the ripples already from the water that's created with that rock. Oh, I see, Paloma. So, the only reason why I had Happily Ever After Maddie because earlier this evening, Happily Ever After came in um a long while ago, and I actually skipped that person because um the person didn't answer, but they were actually still here. We'll so as soon as I get to after I'm done with Maddie, then we'll cross that path and we'll figure this out. If Happily Ever After is willing to step down, I'll definitely do you next. Um, but we'll definitely cross that path when we get to it. Okay. I do apologize. I do apologize for that little mix-up. I definitely understand if you have to get going to work. Um, and if you want to, you can definitely send me a chat through WhatsApp, like or not WhatsApp, but through YouTube, and we can definitely set up maybe a time where we can do like a one-on-one reading. Okay, if it comes to that. Okay. And I don't charge or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. So Matt, this one's for you. Raider Weight deck it is. I'm just curious. Where is everybody located at? I'm actually here in California, and the time right now is like 3 a.m. I'm a night owl kind of guy, so that's why I'm up so late. Um, I seem to work better at night. That's when my energy really gets focused. New Zealand, nice. Okay. All right. So first of all, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is the story behind that is about how you're probably having a type of like friendship, or maybe you're dealing with things on a mental basis, actually, um, where you're probably referring to some really fond memories of your past. Um, and I say that because we have the cups here that kind of talks about emotions and thoughts. So in the picture here of the kids, um, let's see here, picture of the kids, we show them kind of like playing house in a way. That's kind of how I see it. That they are playing store, sort of like how maybe like a parent would say something like, "I'm about to go, do something. Can you kids like go entertain yourself?" So that's what the kids are doing. They're playing store in a way. You got this adult figure kind of walking away from, not having to worry about them. So it's a carefree moment. Um, they're kind of playing in like in their courtyard. So this card kind of resembles your thoughts that probably keeps you happy because you're probably like thinking about your past and things like that. But I feel like that um, well, before I get to that, we have here also the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is like a bittersweet ending. You know, you definitely come to some conclusion with a major issue or like a milestone in your life, and we see the card here, all dark and gloomy, but there's some light there at the end of the tunnel, right? And even though this guy is being stabbed by all the swords, we see like there's like a level of respect with this guy's death, because he's kind of covered with that blanket, right? So um yeah, you're dealing with some type of like closure. There's a painful closure, but um you're kind of probably moving on. There's like light at the end of the tunnel of it. Now you also have the Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups is about taking control or taking action on your emotions or your desires or thoughts that you have. The knight is about to cross this water, and he's respectfully kind of like showing the cup to whomever he's looking at on the side of the card there. um, I feel that it's funny because I just noticed that everything else is upside down except for this card, and something is telling me here that you have been dealing with something like like a tragic emotional event. Um, we even see here the Four of Wands, having like a successful completion of a goal, but whatever this whatever this can represent, there was no completion to it. I think it kind of ties into this whole bittersweet ending here. You even have the Eight of Wands, showing this guy as being surprised with a surprise attack, and he's being super defensive about it. But um, I feel like that you probably had like something's telling me that your guard was down at some point. Um, and I think it might have something to do with maybe like a relationship with somebody. Um, maybe even not with somebody, but maybe with a group of like not group of people, but just like more than one person, perhaps. This is kind of like what my feelings are kind of telling me, and you're more than welcome to tell me if I'm wrong or not too. But I feel like that you're dealing with some emotional issues. Um, maybe still going on, as a matter of fact. Um, because I have these two cards here surrounding the swords, and this is kind of kind of communicating to me that um, you know when can you see an end to these thoughts and to these feelings that you have, because it's causing some issues here where you're not getting projects done, and it's really letting your guard down, for that matter too. Like it caught you off guard, but it's also making you not be able to fight back on this emotion, perhaps. Let's see here. Oh, I'm on the right track. Okay, that's good. Ooh, so again, there's some discomfort happening here, and it seems that your discomfort's coming to no end. At least that's how you see it. We have the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands is usually about completing a job, right? Like you're completing a path or a journey of some sort, and the journey is definitely, or at least the end of the path is definitely visible. But with it reversed, along with the King of Cups, um, you're not seeing an end to it, and you want completion to it, but you're not seeing an end to it, and it's causing an unbalance. And that's what the King of Cups is about, having balance. Because if you look at that card in particular of the Cups, um, he's literally sitting on a throne floating on top of water, and that's balance, right? But with it being upside down, again, I think this has something to do with like maybe a couple of people who might have hurt you. And I say a couple of people because we have this Three of Cups here, which symbolizes like a celebration between friends. Um, but with it being upside down, I'm seeing that it's not really much of a celebration, but it's just the fact that there's multiple people involved with your emotions and are dealing with this issue, and it's causing an imbalance and it's causing major discomfort, because the Nine of Wands is about or not the Nine of Wands, but the Nine of Pentacles is about having living the life of luxury, but in luxury comes comfort, but you're totally uncomfortable with it. I mean, the Pentacles is about, usually about money and other earthly things, but and maybe it has something to do with that too. Like maybe like, but really, I just kind of associate with the fact about living luxury that is causing discomfort. You're also very unbalanced, and you're not seeing it. You're not really getting anywhere with this issue. As a matter of fact, I think that's kind of what this is saying. You're really wanting closure on whatever this issue is, on whoever these people are that's causing this pain, but you're not seeing an end to it, and it's really causing some issues with you. Good Lord, look at this. So we had the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is telling me that you've tried getting out of this, but it or at least you maybe you thought, you put some thought into this, a lot of thought, but you're not getting the answers that you seek. Page of Wands usually means something else, but it's really communicating to me that you're not getting the answers that you're looking for. You probably demanded it, but you're just not getting any answers at all. You have the Hermit here. The Hermit is about it's actually supposed to be like a spiritual individual. Actually, like the Hermit's usually an asocial person where they could be by themselves, but with the Hermit upside down, like your path is not clear, because he holds the lamp up, right, so he can see the path that he needs to go to in order to get connected with spirituality, but everything I'm seeing here is coming to complete stop. Everything with the reverse is saying, like, everything about you, like your life has probably come to a complete stop, and your path is so not visible at this moment, and that's hence why you're not able to complete this. Like, the journey is coming to supposed to be coming to complete, but it's not. And then we have the Six of Pentacles here, where the Six of Pentacles is about having balance with your earthly life, job, or things like that. And I think it's probably causing a disrupt in work. So that's actually the first thing that kind of popped out of my mouth about being a job. And I think with whatever this issue is, these people is also affecting you at work. Like it's probably hindering your performance, and your balance is not there. Let's see here. I really want to know who these people are. Getting some more reversals here. Page of Cups, the Empress. Are these the people at work that's causing some problems with you? I feel like, because I got a few pentacle items here, and I'm seeing this one right here, which is kind of a work-related card. Um, and I did mention about this balance, you know, of the unbalance of the pentacles of work, and this right here also talks about, um, doing repetitive tasks, but also learning on how to be more efficient with your work, stuff like that. And that's not happening here. I think this is actually all work related. Am I correct in thinking of that? I think you're dealing with some people at work. Um, this is what's causing the problems in your life right now. Yeah. Um, because you have the Page of Cups here, which is actually upright. You want, you really want something out of what you desire, but you're not, and that's what the Empress here. The creativity is completely down. I wouldn't say you're being harassed or something like that, but I just feel like that nobody has your back. I think that's why I think about people at work. Like, you don't have any people there to kind of support you. Like you definitely have maybe working relationships with people, but you just feel like they don't have your back. Um, and though you do like to take charge, but again, there's no balance here. Um, as a matter of fact, I think you're indecisive about something at work as well. And at the same time, I think it's affecting your home too. Or not just your home, but just like your overall like life. I mean, it's funny how these things are just kind of plopping all together. Like everything here is all reversed. I mean, I hate to say sound gloom and doom, but that's the thing about Raider Weight decks. That they're super in your face and they're super honest and brutally honest about what they want to tell you. So, um, I think it's already clear, and you've already mentioned it right here. You have major issues. It wasn't work related though. So what is your question? What is your question related to? Because I feel like that. Um, 'Cause I did say earlier that it has to do with an emotional issue with people, like more than one person, as a matter of fact. I just related to work because you keep getting the tentacle items here, which is it's earthly possessions, but doesn't always necessarily have to be work. But I think again, you're having problems like an emotional issue with a couple of people, and it's it's disrupting everything. It's really um, so you're saying you want to be with this particular girl to become your partner. That's what you're talking about. Um, Let me see if I can get some answer cards here for you real quick. So, I think this is a character draw about this person. Um, so, I can tell you for sure, at least the last question you have, will I ever find it? You'll definitely find it. That will definitely come to you. It just always seems doom and gloom because you have all these things kind of turning upside down. But uh, seeing if this is her, this will probably help you maybe on a compatibility basis. I feel that because first of all, you have this devil card, right? It doesn't really mean a bad thing, but I think she kind of does it for you, and she sparks this huge desire for you. Um, it's wrong but it's right kind of thing. Like for example, you know, going to a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, for example. You go to McDonald's because it tastes really good, but it's really bad for you, right? That's kind of like what the devil card's about. Um, you know, she probably has like this type of influence. You know, maybe like a bad girl type influence that probably you might be attracted to, perhaps. Um, she's a definite go getter. She definitely likes to take action with things, and she's a total dreamer too. Like she has like, I think she's like a very talky person, likes to talk about a lot of ideas. Because the Fool's card, it's about taking leaps of faith about things. You know, carefree. You know, you're kind of like uh, the dreamer. Like you like to dream about things, and I think this is what this is a character draw on these last three cards here. Um, and I think what's happening here is that she's tapping to you because of this. She's it's like you know kind of like this stir within you. Um, Described it perfectly. There we go. Um, as far as compatibility goes, let me use my angel deck and I'll see. I'll just get like a quick yes and no answer here. So yes, a definite yes. I have three even cards here. I have a 6, 8, and 10. So that's how I usually operate with my yes and no cards, or yes and no with tarot. I take three cards and I'll see what numbers I get. If they're all even, then it's a definite yes. I think she does it for you. She definitely does it for you. Now, as far as her interest with you, I'm not exactly sure. I might just get gibberish because this deck is getting a little bit smaller as I keep drawing more cards. But let's see here. I feel like there's some sort of wishful thinking with her. Um, a lot of wishful thinking. And I think this is actually all about her, but this last card's you. And I say this because, again, she's that dreamer card, and she has a lot of wishful thinking. You know, she has to be careful what she wishes for because things. She's very fast, and they're kind of it's kind of funny I say that because I said here that in the Nine of Pentacles, she definitely takes charge with what she wants to get. She definitely goes and gets it, right? Um, and then we have this card here, which is fast motion, fast pace. So she's definitely really active for that matter. And I think that if you were to continue a pursuit with her, it's going to change your views on things. And it's going to be for the good in a way. That the hangman here, this person is hanging himself upside down purposely. That way he gets the opportunity to see things in a different angle. So um, I think this person is definitely for you because the tarot also says absolutely yes. You know, this could be a person you could definitely want to pursue. Just bear in mind that she is, you know, definitely a dreamer. It's gonna, you know, not gonna. It's gonna take some work to, you know, to keep at her pace perhaps. Because she seems, you know, like she's just on the go. Like she needs somebody who's going to be as fast paced as her. So that's why you need to kind of change your perspective about who you are, and maybe even fix some of these issues happening at work, to kind of spin these cards around. Because one thing you definitely want to really look at is about you too, right? You also want to make sure that yourself is, um, you know, taken care of, you know, and that, you know, relationships are definitely something you can get into, but the one thing that really matters the most is you. So I honestly think that this person is um, actually somebody you want to pursue. And it kind of makes sense too on the rest of the tarot, how everything, how I keep on saying that it has something to do with somebody. I thought it was multiple people because we had this Three of Cups here, but it was definitely dealing with somebody. Um, and But I was kind of linking it to where, like, because of this person, it was causing all these issues. You also have this one right here, this Ten of Wands, or assuming the Ten of Swords here. So whatever issues that you're dealing with, you need to bring them to a close if you really want to be with this person. You need to find an end to that, because I think the universe was really wanting you to kind of really focus on these issues that you're experiencing at work, because if you don't get that fixed, then this relationship is not going to work. All right, so get a handle at the at the workplace, find out what's wrong with that, and then at the same time you could definitely pursue this person as well, but just bear in mind that stability will bring attraction to her, because like she's, like I said, she right here, she takes control of what she wants. She already knows what she wants to get, so that means you need to also fix that yourself. You need to fix the issues, that way you know what you have and you know what you want and you get what you want, and then that's going to attract her even more towards you, and therefore completing that this lustful card, right? To where you both can definitely enjoy each other's company. If that's what your feelings believe that is supposed to happen, then it's probably what it is. I'm just saying that if you want to build a stronger connection with this person, you need to also fix yourself as well, because even if it was a match made in heaven, and the universe probably put this there for you, you can always easily screw something up because you haven't closed the other door before opening up another one. So that's just the thing that you want to make sure that you take care of. Okay. So I hope that helped out a lot for you. All right. Let's see here. So I do have Happily Ever After next. Paloma, you are next, but my time is kind of running short here. It's getting pretty late for me. So I might actually have to come to a stop at this point right now, to be honest, because I did quite a bit of readings, and I feel my energy kind of drained right now, and I don't mean any disrespect. I know you all have been waiting really, really patiently. Um, um, how long have I been streaming here? Yeah, I've been streaming for almost 4 hours straight. Um, this is what I like to do for the both of you. I know both of you have been waiting super patiently. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. It's just thing is, like, if I want to give you all a rating, I'd rather be in my peak performance instead of feeling tired, and again, it's getting really late for me, and I just want to make sure that I take care of myself. But if you would like to send me a chat through the YouTube message, both you and Happily Ever After, we can definitely set up a time to where we can, uh, we can do a reading for you. And if I come on, anytime between now and whenever we decide, you happen to join my session, I'll definitely bump you both to the front of my list. Okay. And I'll definitely make you next after I'm done with the current reading on my next stream. So I'm definitely going to put a note of that for myself. Okay. So Thank you very much, everybody, for joining my Oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. I think if you go to my channel, oh, there it is. So, you should see something like this. Let me see if I can make a picture of this somehow. Give me 1 second. There it is. So there should be that icon right there. You're very, very welcome, Matt. I really appreciate your comments. But please leave a chat if you can with your feedback. It really, really helps me out a lot. Anything that you'd like to also add that I've missed as well, you're more than welcome to put that in there as well. But I hope you would like and subscribe and join me on my next session as well. So Paloma, and happily ever after. If you can see my screen right now, I put it onto the video. There is that thing that's circled. It looks like a little chat window with the arrow on it. So you can click on that, and it'll give you. I guess you can add me as a friend, and you can send me messages through there. So if not, just go ahead and drop a chat into the or drop a comment into the YouTube video. And I also have your names already saved right here anyways. So next time you come around, I'll definitely bump you up to the front of the list, okay? So thank you very much, everybody, for joining my stream today. It was really a lot of fun. I'm going to take this off the screen so we can see here. There we go. So yes, I hope you all find your Groovyouverse and like and subscribe, and watch out for other videos I have to post. Have a great day, everybody.